It's time to add some spice to your nooner. Nooner funny. This is the place where big-time guests, bold opinions, and little cute doggies come together. This is Rothman and Ice.
Sponsored by Pella Columbus, the #1 rated windows and doors in Columbus.
All right, and away we go. Draft night. Draft day. One of the great sports movies ever created. Matty hasn't seen it yet. And he never will. Rothman and Ice. Anthony Rothman, Matty Ice Hayes, and the Loose Cannon. How you feeling?
I feel amazing. I really do, because this is one of my favorite sports days of the year.
Not overrated, is it?
I don't think it is at all. I really don't, because just every pick, there's this belief that gets infused to a fan base that we just drafted a Hall of Famer. That's just the feeling that you get, that everybody's going to be hype about the guy that they get. And so, I cannot wait. I think this thing's kicking off, right around 8 o'clock, I believe, is when we'll get going on, ESPN, NFL Network. You'll have a couple different options. I know in the past, we've had, the college game day guys, maybe on ABC. So, you've got options tonight, but I think a lot of us will be locked in, and especially early on with those Cleveland Brownies, the dog pound barking right at 2. It's going to be fun tonight.
All right. There he is. All right, so we got a nice show for you today. Our friend Greg Cosell from the Super Bowl.
Oh, yeah.
From Radio Row, the executive producer and analyst at NFL Matchup, will jump on at 12:30. He is very, very good at what he does, analyzing the tape. And we'll just do a lot of draft stuff today. It is a Gold Jacket Thursday. And one of the great nicknames, he will not agree, because I've heard he really didn't love the nickname. Because if you're one of the hardest hitters in the league, you don't want to be referred to as the Smiling Assassin. But I liked it. I always thought it was a great nickname. We'll see if he still embraces it. Steve Atwater will jump on the program from the Pro Football Hall of Fame in Canton. He'll be there this weekend. They're actually kind of doing a pseudo drafting fans into the Hall of Fame, kind of a fun little thing in the museum up there. Steve will be involved in that. And when he came out of Arkansas, he certainly was, they thought, too big to be a safety. He was just linebacker's body, and Wade Phillips got him and put him in a lot of different situations. Dan Reeves loved him. And he goes into the pros and was amazing right from the get-go, and got a couple Super Bowls. I think played in 3, won 2.
Yeah.
There's a very interesting story about the first Super Bowl against Favre. I'm going to ask him about it. So he, on third down, I can't remember exactly what the score was. It was a one-score game. And late in the game, I think the Packers' last possession, I'll have to go back, and Atwater, Favre throws a ball, I think, to the left seam. And Atwater knows that if they complete this pass, they're probably going to lose. And he lays out and takes a teammate with him. Incomplete.
Mm-hmm.
And he had to leave the game and, I believe, watch the final play of the Super Bowl, of them defending on the sideline.
That's tough.
But he created the ability, because on fourth down, I think they blitzed Favre, and I think he threw over the middle. It was incomplete, and he got rushed. And I'll have to go back and look at the score. But we'll ask him about it at 2:30 and a lot more.
AR, better nickname, the Smiling Assassin for Steve Atwater or the Babyface Assassin for Steph Curry? Which one would you rather be? Because they both worked out well. They're both Hall of Famers. And so, Smiling Assassin,
I like the fact that
face?
the smiling, I like the N on the end of smiling and the N on the end of assassin. It flows better.
Well, here's the thing.
Smiling Assassin.
With the Smiling Assassin, too, you kind of get that, this dude's, he could be a little going sicko mode, like he's an assassin, but he'll smile at you while he's taking you out. So, I'm going to go with the Smiling Assassin as well. I like that.
What about just, they call me Assassin? Jack Tatum.
That works.
The original.
But smiling, I think,
OG.
Kind of a mental you-know-what when it comes to what this guy is and what you're going to get from him.
Was he smiling over you after he hit you?
What I'm
is
saying.
That the deal?
Like when you're seeing little birdies flying around your head?
So
like in the cartoons when you get knocked out?
There was another game, as I just play old man here and tell you guys to look this stuff up. there was a running back by the name of Christian Okoye. Christian Okoye's nickname, Maddie, was the Nigerian Nightmare.
Oh, yeah, I'm familiar.
All right.
I'm familiar.
He was untackleable, right? He was the star of Tecmo Bowl, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And in Tecmo, you couldn't tackle him. I think it was either a glitch or something they put in there.
Code.
Like, it just, forget it.
Yeah.
And I thought it was Monday Night Football. I'll look it up again. And he comes into the hole, and here's Atwater. And when you talk about, when they say the word like forearm shiver, that's what I think of with this hit, because you really wouldn't want to hit a guy that big up high. He was Derrick Henry, Earl Campbell.
Oh, yeah.
He was that kind of guy. You just didn't want to meet him.
Michael, stop.
Yeah, you didn't want to meet him in Bloody Alley.
Trying to take out the
As
knees.
we talked about when we were kids. We played Bloody Alley, we called it. It was one defensive guy, and then you had to, somehow we had it in the side yard, we had it kind of blocked off where you had to run up the middle and with a Nerf. Well, maybe we had the real football, I can't remember. And my brother and I and our friends, we called it Bloody Alley.
Yeah, it's kind of like that Oklahoma drill we used to do, like where you're both laying down looking at the sky. You know, the whistle blows, you turn around, you just try to run through your teammate's face. Sounds familiar. Sounds like a good time.
So he put the Nigerian Nightmare on his butt in a brick wall kind of a hit.
Okay.
And that's probably, I don't know when the Smiling Assassin came about, but I feel like that would have been the moment.
It was appropriate.
Yeah. So we'll have him on at 2:30. We will talk over-under on Buckeyes going in the draft in the first round today. The other thing we talked about real fast, I want to get your opinion on this, Maddie.
Yeah.
The loose cannon over there, we were having this conversation before the show. I don't know where this came up or how it came up. Shark was in there, and I was referring to somebody as coach.
Okay.
And he's like, well, he didn't coach you. Why are you calling him coach? And I said, well, I don't know. I could call him by his first name, or I could call him by coach. And he said that he would not refer to anybody as coach.
Okay.
Like if I brought him on the air, like if I named somebody.
Ryan Day.
Jake Diebler. If I welcomed on, all right, joining us now on the Brian Heating Cooling Fan Guest Hotline.
Yeah.
Coach Jake Diebler. How's it going, Coach? He says, why would you do that? Why wouldn't you just call him Jake? And I said, well, I might as well call him Jake the Snake at that point. Like I feel like that's not like calling a doctor.
No.
Like I feel like it's just appropriate to say his first name or coach. I don't think, but he thought that calling him coach
was a little odd.
If he's not my coach, and I didn't think that was
It's something
weird.
that I've always done. We have the pleasure sometimes of running into John Cooper after our show when he's doing some TV hits with Dom, and I always approach him as, hey, Coach, it's good to see you.
Well, hold on. Do you call him Coach or Coach Coop? Because that's a nickname.
I just say, hey, Coach, it's good to see you again.
All right.
I don't go Coach Coop.
Because if you call him Coach Coop, that's informal. Just because you're calling him Coach doesn't mean that's formal.
So you're saying we should rather call him Hey Coop? That would be better than saying Hey Coach?
No, I'm saying it's the same. I'm saying that what I'm saying...
What do you want us to call him? Hello, John.
Yeah. Well, you know him, but if like Ryan Day walked in the studio and you guys don't know him that well, just call him Ryan.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying. Because you're establishing, if you call him coach, he's not your coach. If you call him coach, you're establishing right then and there that he's got some sort of authority over you. You're kind of tipping your hand a little bit that you're a little bit nervous around him.
No.
Just act like you're
What if
two
I
adults.
ran into a doctor, but he's not my doctor?
If you just ran into a doctor,
That I
then call
know.
him by his first name.
Don't call him doctor?
If you just run into any doctor at the grocery store, like if he's in his scrubs,
if I know him, but he's not my personal doctor or dentist, you're saying I shouldn't call him by doctor?
not really.
So you're
and the
saying-
only reason we call doctors doctor anyways, just out of like a formality, just because that's what we're used to, not because, oh man, I got to really show him some respect right now. Call him by his.
What if I say, what's
professional
up,
title.
Doc?
Yeah. Does Ryan Day say, hey, host?
If you met Mike Tomlin, if you met Mike Tomlin,
Mike.
as a Steeler fan, you would
Mike.
call him Mike.
Do I count as an adult? Like I'm 26. I'm kind of in like that. Like
Yeah, you're
young. Okay.
You're an adult.
Well,
Let me
in
ask you
that
this.
case, then we're two adults. I'm calling you by your first name.
Let me ask you this. Does it depend a little bit on what their first name is? Because I don't know if we saw Andy Reid at the Super Bowl, I don't think I'd say, "How's it going, Andy?"
No, it's coach.
Now, Mike sounds a little more tough. It cuts glass a little bit.
I'm always going to call those guys coach for me. Like that's just how it works. And I don't view it as me bending the knee or me being nervous or anything like that.
Oh, yes, it is.
No, not at all.
100%.
Well, that's your view. And I'm telling you, in my mind, I ain't viewing it that way. They're just the coach. I'm calling them coach.
You don't
That's
think
what
you're
they are to
stroking
a lot
their
of
ego
people.
a little bit?
I think what we found out here is the loose cannon may have a problem with authority.
I think that's exactly
For people who don't actually have authority over me, yes.
Is there a first name? Is there a first name, though, of one of these NFL coaches that you would feel weird about?
If Sean McVay came in here, I'm calling him Sean.
How's it going, D'Amico?
Yeah, no.
That's his name.
It is his name. How's it going, Raheem?
I think I think it'd be weird if you like initialize it. And
I
was
think
like,
they
hey,
like it.
Like, hey, like if Andy Reid came in here, what's up?
It's a sign.
Let me ask you this.
It's just a sign of it's just a sign of respect.
That's all it is.
I'm sure they like it. They appreciate it.
It's an
Probably.
ego stroke that I'm not giving it to.
Okay.
Let me ask you this. You meet a former president. You're calling him by his first name?
Man, that's so different.
No, it's not.
Why? He has no authority over you technically.
Yes, he
Not
he
anymore.
did.
Not anymore.
No, he said
a
former
president. So you meet a former president. You're calling them by their first name.
You wouldn't say, "Hello, Mr. President. It's nice to meet you."
He's 100% saying Mr. President. That's why
I'm
he's
not saying-
hesitating.
No, it's less than 100%,
going,
but
Bill?
it's close.
You're saying Mr. President.
Knowing me, I'll probably say Bill if it's Bill Clinton.
What do you say, Barack?
I'll be like, "Hey, Bill," and then catch myself and be like, "Oops, that was bad." But we're comparing U.S. presidents
This guy.
to
No, I thought it was a great analogy. I thought Maddie got you there.
This also goes into the coverage angle of it too, and keeping like integrity of
How
like
about this?
who are we serving? The coaches
You know
or
where
the
this comes
fans?
from? You know
we're
where I
serving
think
the
this
fans.
comes
We
from?
got to buck up a little bit for an interview.
All right, this is where I see that part a little bit.
Thank you.
This is where I think it comes from. Did this come from Dion wanting to be referred to as Coach Prime?
No, but that's weird too. No, because he had an issue at Jackson State where somebody called him like, "Hey, Prime" or something. He's like, "Oh, you wouldn't call Nick Saban Nick," and then someone's like,
that's what I'm saying. I thought that's where
we had that dispute.
You know what Bobby Knight's last ending was at Indiana? Do you know the story?
No.
The very last ending, what got him when they put him on zero tolerance and all that. He was going into Assembly Hall, and there was a kid coming out. Coach Knight was walking in, and he said, "What's up, Knight?" And Knight kind of accosted him a little bit and said, "Hey, it's either Coach or Mr. Knight. It's not Hey Knight." And he got into it with a student, and that was the final straw.
That got him fired?
That was the final
Was
deal.
it that bad?
I'm
that's-
just giving you the story.
I would have just called him Bob, but you know.
What up, Bob?
Well, also, if you're a student, that's a little bit different because, like, I'm viewing it now as like we're all adults. If you're a student talking to, okay, maybe Mr. Knight would be better, you know.
What about Mr. Hayes and Mr. Rothman? Because that's it now.
Mr.
You're
Hayes and
done
Mr.
with host. All right, we're coming back. Over under on Buckeyes, Maddie, in the first round. Should I put it at 3.5, 2.5?
2.5 feels appropriate.
2.5.
Yeah.
We'll answer that next. Rothman and Ice in the Fan.
We know everything about you. We know you love the Buckeyes. We know you love the Jackets. We know you're wearing a red shirt. I just freaked the hell out of someone. The Fan.
Hey there, friends. Bo Bishop here from my friends at High Bank Distillery Co., located right here in Columbus. Introducing their newest product, 614 Vodka, Ohio's house vodka. Perfect to make a drink at home or try when you're out at your favorite local restaurant. Learn more at 614vodka.com.
Forever starts with the perfect diamond. Hi, it's Alex Johnson from the Diamond Cellar, and for over 78 years, our family has helped generations of couples celebrate love with brilliance, quality, and unbeatable prices. At Diamond Cellar, bigger diamonds and better prices are our promise to you. Whether you're popping the question or upgrading your sparkle, trust the experts. Because diamonds, they're our forte. Visit us at Diamond Cellar on Sawmill Road or at Easton Town Center and learn more at diamondcellar.com.
Common Man here for Jermaine Lexus of Dublin and Easton. Guess what? It's driving season, friends, and my friends at Jermaine Lexus are ready for you with their most popular models on the lot and ready to go with special APRs as low as 3.99%, up to 48 months, or 4.49%, up to 60 months with low lease payments starting at $389 per month on the 2025 NX. And if you're looking for a TX, they're finally available for immediate delivery. Jermaine Lexus, 2 locations to serve you, Dublin and Easton, JermaineLexus.com.
I can't sleep.
What is it now?
It's the company. It's chaos. What's chaos now? The numbers, the expenses, the books. What if we get audited?
No one's going to audit you at 3 a.m. Go to sleep.
I can't sleep.
You could if you used Ramp.
Who said that?
I don't care because they're right. Go to sleep and sign up for Ramp in the morning, Jerry.
Ramp is the corporate card that handles all your tedious financial operations automatically, integrates directly with your ERP, and gives you complete control over every transaction. Ramp gives you everything you need for bulletproof books and a better night's sleep.
Wow, that is exactly what my company needs.
Yes, and exactly what I also need. Go to sleep, Jerry.
Upgrade to Ramp for free today and get $250 at ramp.com/radio. Ramp.com/radio. That's ramp.com/radio.
Cards issued by Sutton Bank, members FDIC. Terms and conditions apply.
Hi, this is Ron from the Good Feet store. Are you standing on painful feet all day? Don't lose hope. We want to help you live without pain. Discover your options and visit goodfeet.com. Or stop in today at the Good Feet store on Polaris Parkway in Grove City.
Common Man here for Weed Man. I always have the greenest lawn in the neighborhood. It's luscious. I swear by two things, water and Weed Man. Weed Man is locally owned and operated by Corbin and Audrey. They will make sure your lawn is weed-free and looking gorgeous. Of course, they get rid of weeds, but they also do aeration, mosquito control, grub control, crabgrass prevention, and flea and tick control for your four-legged friends. For a free quote, give them a call, 614-733-3747, weedmanusa.com. Tell them Common Man sent you.
The Fan has been ranked as the second best sports station in America by our industry peers. Heartfelt thank you is in order. But we're not doing it because we're better than that hillbilly Birmingham station that came in first. Thanks for nothing.
Help DEA keep our communities safe and healthy by participating in National Prescription Drug Take-Back Day, Saturday, April 26th. Take action right in your own home by cleaning out your medicine cabinet of unneeded medications. Keep them safe, clean them out, take them back. Find a collection site near you at DEATakeback.com. Do your part to lower overdose deaths and prevent prescription drug misuse before it starts. That's DEATakeback.com.
Hey there, I'm Brad. I'm about to win the Tuesday Night Bowling League Championship. I'm also a highway worker for the Ohio Department of Transportation. When you move over and slow down, you're not only giving me room to work, you're making sure I can bowl the winning strike with my buddies.
Roadside workers have lives and families, but when they're on the job, they put it all on the line to protect and serve us. Remember, they're not just roadside workers. Thank you for moving over and slowing down.
Brought to you by ODOT, USDOT, NHTSA, and ODPS.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
Hey there, Central Ohio. I'm 10 Weather Impact meteorologist Michael Behrens. Pop-up showers and storms possible this afternoon of highs in the low 80s. Those rain chances end tonight as the sun goes down, low 60s. 70s Friday, mostly dry to start, but rain chances increase in the afternoon, peaking for the evening and overnight. Back to dry weather this weekend. That's your latest 10 Weather Impact forecast. I'm meteorologist Michael Behrens on 97.1 The Fan.
Bet365, the official online sports book of Rothman and Ice. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
Fascinating, informative, covered in dog slobber. You're listening to Rothman and Ice.
Rothman and Ice and producer Gen Z with us.
That was my nickname in St. Louis radio. I had three.
There's no way that I just came up with that out of the blue. That means I predicted that CB was shopping for bathing trunks one day, not having any clue, and I
had three nicknames in St. Louis radio, and
two
Gen
we can
Z
actually say on the air.
Gen Z was really one of your nicknames in St. Louis?
For sure.
Okay.
What year were you born?
1999.
I did get a text from one of the homies, and they said enough with the Baby Chat nickname. He is 100% the loose cannon.
Yeah. Well, I
think
I thought we'd graduate to that eventually. I don't know we'd get to it in week 3. Upper Deck Golf at the Shoe. Can we give these out today?
No, we got two other ones.
How many passes?
We got Reds tickets and Hall of Fame.
How many can we have, Mr. Porky?
Let me look it up. I'm looking to my list.
Oh, we have Hall of Fame passes also. All right, we're putting that on you today.
I know.
We got other stuff to talk about on this side of the glass.
We got 2 passes to the Pro Football Hall of Fame, and we got 2 tickets to see the Reds take on the Cardinals next Thursday, May 1st in Cincinnati. Get your tickets for this exciting matchup.
I thought we were doing that tomorrow.
No, we got 2 today, 2 tomorrow.
Okay.
We got a whole lot to give away. It's going to be a great show.
Okay.
The chat's
Just
very
all
active
giveaways.
right now.
There's a great scene in A Few Good Men. That should be on your list, by the way. It was a play before a movie.
I've seen that one.
okay.
Overrated.
All right.
No. It was a great movie until the end, and then I thought that was beneath Jack
right.
Nicholson's character to give in.
Well,
like that.
my point here is give in. He
Yeah.
had 2 MPs with weapons that were holding him. What do you mean give in?
A Few Good Men?
You mean give in and admit that he had ordered it?
Yeah. When Tom Cruise is just yelling at him,
Well,
Jack
he let him
Nicholson's
right where he
character
wanted
was
to go.
tougher than that, and he gave in, and he shouldn't have.
Well, at the time, when he was upset about the question, and he said, I'd appreciate if you addressed me as Colonel or Sir. I believe I've earned it. And then he looks at the judge and like, I don't know what kind of place you're running here. And then the judge looks at him, Maddie, and says, and the witness will address this court as Judge or Your Honor. I believe I've earned it. Mm-hmm. So there you go, Gen Z. Where do you stand on Buckeyes getting drafted tonight? And I think the key is going to be this. I think the key is, well, 2 things. It's Ibuka. Is he a lock first rounder? And could Travion Henderson somehow get into the first round?
So here's where I'm at. I feel very good about Emeka getting drafted tonight at some point.
It's funny. I feel almost better about the 2 offensive linemen.
Okay. I think Travion will sneak in.
You're saying 4 Buckeyes.
Here's where I'm at. I think the Josh Simmons stuff is odd to me, what's out there, because you hear a couple different narratives at the moment. Some people are a little worried about the medical stuff.
I can buy that.
Some people are worried about some of his dedication. Like I saw a quote from The Athletic, and one NFL executive said this about Josh Simmons. Teams want him to mature and prove he's fully dedicated to football.
Oh, no.
But it's also going to be up to his next team to bring that element out of him. Again, look, this is an anonymous NFL executive off the record.
Yeah, maybe they want him.
Correct. And so that's just what's out there with Josh. So for me, it comes down to I think Emeka's in. I think Travion will get in. Donovan Jackson's the other one I've been thinking about.
We're taking him.
So you think the Vikings are going to grab him?
I would like them
His
to.
versatility after what he just showed, I could completely understand why this dude would be a first-round pick.
Desperately an immediate starter.
So I really believe, AR, that the old Scarlet and Gray has a chance to hear 4 of their guys selected tonight. So you put the number at 2.5. I will take the over.
Should I put it at 3.5? Would that have been a better? Let's put it at 3.5. Are you still taking? You're still taking the over.
I'd take the over.
All right. Well, I just slanted it for benefit for me
because I think what's going to happen specifically for Donovan and Josh is that we could get a run early on offensive linemen, and that may start as early as Will Campbell at 4 tonight. And when that starts, the back end of that draft, I think, will open up doors for Josh Simmons. Some of the and Donovan Jackson.
That's why I had them as the 2, and actually Emeka should be a first rounder. I'm not saying he's in a first round talent.
Yeah.
I'm just kind of wondering. It's got to land perfectly. I don't know what really Denver's going to do. I like him there. And then if he gets past Denver at 20, the Packers could take him. But where would Matthew Golden go? Behind him?
Who knows what these draft boards are looking like.
And then who would be, there wouldn't be any other receiver. So if Golden hasn't been picked and Emeka doesn't get picked at 20, then they'd both have to go post 20, and I don't know if that would happen. I think Jackson goes before Simmons.
Okay.
And I think that Emeka will probably be drafted, so that'd be 2. And then my third was Simmons, not Travion, but I've read a lot about how we all know how complete of a back he is.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just whether the running back in the first round outside of Genty and Amarion, I don't know if you get 3 running backs taken in the first round.
What's out there right now this morning was that Denver's receiving a lot of calls. And if they decide to slide back a little bit, I could see that being a landing spot for Travion because he had that meeting with the Chiefs the other day, and there's some Sean Payton really likes Travion Henderson stuff coming out of the Rocky Mountains. And teams are reportedly wanting to get in front of the loose cannon Steelers to possibly take Shedeur Sanders, which is going to be fascinating if we do get that tonight. And so I think 4 of these guys can go. Donovan Jackson's the one that I don't feel the most confidence in, that he goes in the first round. But for Josh, along the way throughout this draft process, people were saying if he didn't have that injury, he would be the first offensive tackle selected in the draft tonight.
I could see the Chiefs taking him at 31.
Josh?
Yes. They have a mess of a revolving door on their offensive line, especially a left tackle.
Mm-hmm.
He could be that guy at 31 to them. You and I both like. The other question is, by the way, what about Luther Burden and McMillan, the receivers?
McMillan's going to go.
McMillan's going to go.
He's going to go early. I would not be surprised
Cowboys.
if he doesn't get past Dallas at 12.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised at all. Or Arizona at 16.
I think the call for me is safe at 3. I think you're being bold at 4, which is cool, but you're going to need Travion to be a first-round running back. Although, let me ask you this: do you think Travion's going before Simmons? In your 4-banger?
Do I think Travion goes before? No, I don't. Because I think the run on offensive
Then where's
lineman,
Travion going?
I think he's going to go on the back end for either Denver trading down or the Chiefs taking him at 31.
Okay. I could see the Chiefs also going that route.
The one I don't have the most confidence in is Donovan Jackson. The other 3, Simmons, Emeka, Travion, I think hear their names called.
That's new information about Simmons I did not know
It's
about.
just one NFL exec. He also highlights how good of a player he is and how dominant he was prior to the injury. And so that's just one opinion.
The curveball that we talked about yesterday is, what will the Jaguars do at 5? Do they take a high-floor defensive tackle? Do they take Ashton Genty? Do the Raiders try to sneak up to make sure they get Genty, or are they going offensive lineman? That's where the real fork in the road is, I think, early on in the draft. We'll ask Greg Cosell about it, executive producer at NFL Matchup, next in 2 minutes. Rothman and Ice on the Fan.
Evan Cohen here. Picking a place to build a life is a lot like selecting a draft pick. Make a decision that will set you up for long-term success. Pick Wisconsin. In Wisconsin, you'll find dynamic career opportunities, beautiful seasons, affordable living, and legendary weekends. From its high quality of life and great schools to its fine arts, culinary, and pro sports scenes, Wisconsin gives you so much to look forward to. That's why you should pick Wisconsin. Learn more about making Wisconsin your home. Visit pickwisconsin.com.
Switching to Progressive is a game-winning call. And that reminds us of other game-winning calls in the history of sports.
There was a doubleheader in August and really hot inside the concession stand. So instead of waiting for people to come to me, I figured I'd walk around yelling, "Hot dogs here!" And that's how I became the first hot dog vendor in sports.
Okay, not really a game-winning call, but it was a good call. You can make one too. Switch to Progressive and you could save hundreds. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, not available in all states.
Beds are us, where dreams don't get in. Beds are us.
Right now, get $1,500 off a shower or tub replacement, or $3,000 off a full bathroom remodel, plus low to no monthly payments. Call 380-225-BATH to schedule your free estimate, or go to bathsareus.com. 380-225-BATH.
Beds are us, when dreams don't get in. Beds are us.
Boating season is finally here, and Buckeye Lake Marina is your go-to destination for all your on-the-water needs. With the largest inventory in Central Ohio, you can choose from top brands like Bennington, South Bay, Crown Line, and more. Buckeye Lake Marina has it all. Pontoon boats, luxury tri-toon boats, even merch. Open 7 days a week to serve you better. Find your next dream boat at Buckeye Lake Marina. Visit BuckeyeLakeMarina.com today for all your on-the-water needs. The good life, the lake life, starts at Buckeye Lake Marina.
Rothman and Ice is sponsored by your local Pella Window and Door showroom on Gemini Parkway. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Like Yoda, Rothman will limp onto the golf course, talk about how stiff his back is, wonder how he can even make it through a hole, and then proceed to kick your ass. You're listening to Rothman and Ice.
All right, it is draft night. Where will the early curveball be thrown? A lot of predictions out there. And for some answers and some very educated guesses, we bring on our friend from Radio Row, Greg Cosell, executive producer and analyst at NFL Matchup. And he has been in this game for a long time, senior producer at NFL Films. Greg, welcome back. How you been?
I've been great, but guys, I'm sorry, I don't have the answers to that. That's not what I do. But you use the right word. Those are all guesses.
Yeah, but they're educated. Greg, you're more educated than others.
I'm not a good guesser when it comes to that. I don't really do I don't do the mock guesses.
All right, well then let me ask you this: when you look at Ashton Genty, and you think about some of the great running backs that have been drafted in the first round, and some that worked out situationally, maybe some have gone to better ones than others. Is he bust-proof as a talent?
Yeah, I mean, he's a really good prospect. I mean, I don't think he's as good a prospect as Bijan Robinson was coming out of Texas a few years ago, but I think that Genty's a really good prospect. Many might be surprised that there are some who believe that Omarion Hampton is the equal of Genty as a prospect. I think Genty will still get drafted before Hampton. But, yeah, no, he's a very good prospect. I'm sure he'll be a good pro.
Greg, there are so many narratives out there right now when it comes to Shedeur Sanders and where he could go. I just want to ask you what you've seen on film and what you think he can be in time in the NFL if he's put in the right situation.
Well, I think you have to put him in the context of the quarterback position in the NFL right now. Shedeur Sanders at his core, he's a pocket quarterback. So there's a lot that goes into being a great pocket quarterback in the NFL. He's not going to be a playmaker. He's not going to be a creator. So many of the really good ones now in the league have that ability. He's not that guy. He's an executor of an offense, and he's a ball distributor. In many ways, he's like C.J. Stroud, who you guys know well, but he's not as good as C.J. Stroud, and he's not as good a prospect as C.J. Stroud was coming out of Ohio State. So I think that's where a lot of people, in the league are figuring out. That's why there are some people that have him as a second-round grade or a third-round grade, because he's that kind of quarterback. He's a ball distributor. He's not necessarily the kind of guy that's going to elevate everybody else. He's the kind of guy that needs the offense to run efficiently. Now, people listening might say, well, every quarterback needs that. Sure, in an ideal world, every quarterback does need that, and that's what you want for your team. But he's not the kind of guy that can, make those special plays on his own. And there are some areas that he clearly needs to improve to be a quality NFL quarterback. But in the 30,000-foot view of where the NFL quarterback position is now, that's what he is. And that requires team in order for that player to be really successful.
Greg, the people you talk to, the tape you've watched, the research you've done, do you believe that the best two players in the draft, non-quarterback, are going to be offensively Travis Hunter and defensively Abdul Carter?
Hunter's an interesting guy, obviously, because he's played both. I know many think he's the best receiver if he just played receiver. It's possible he could be. The nature of the Colorado offense was such that he didn't do a lot of the things that you expect to see an NFL receiver do. He's certainly an explosive athlete. He's supposed to be an incredibly smart kid. So if you're making him solely a receiver, I imagine he'll be a very, very good one. There'll be some learning that has to be done, but I'm sure he'll be a very good one. Carter is he's very, very explosive. I think there's a power element to his game that needs to be worked on. For instance, he's not Micah Parsons right now. Micah Parsons is a much more powerful player. Penn State used him basically the way the Cowboys used Micah Parsons. They lined him up on the edge. On third downs, they often lined him up in the middle of the defense in what we call a joker position. But he's certainly a highly explosive athlete, and you'd expect him to be a forceful player and an impact player in the league.
Greg, the Cincinnati Bengals may be in the business tonight of selecting somebody on defense, specifically on the D-line. Now, outside of Abdul Carter, at 17, is there a D lineman or two that you think can help Cincinnati?
Oh, well, there's always obviously players. Cincinnati is I don't know what they're going to do with Hendrickson. I don't know if they're looking for an edge pass rusher. Of course, everybody's looking for an edge pass rusher at one point or another. This is a draft where there's guys that are physically gifted, but that need work. like Shamar Stewart from Texas A&M is an athletic freak, but at this point in time, he really does not know how to rush the quarterback. So you have to teach him that. I thought watching tape that the two pass rushers that were probably the most, let's put it this way, had the most tools in their toolbox as far as rushing the quarterback were Mike Green out of Marshall and Nick Skowron out of A&M. I thought those guys had the best pass rush arsenal of all the pass rushers. Mikael Williams is another sort of freakish athlete who I thought his tape was better this year than it was in 2023, but I still think he has a ways to go to become a true edge pass rusher. So I think you have to understand when you draft a guy what he is. James Pierce could well be there, and he's another guy that's a great athlete and I think needs a little work. So, the issue is when you draft guys at 17, I'm sure fans expect that guy to come in and be a contributor right away. That could happen or it could not happen, depending on who it is.
Talk about Travion Henderson for us, because there's some thought out there that he may be a guy that could get in the back end of the first round. He's been such a good player for Ohio State over the last few years. But you looking at Travion's tape, do you view him as a first-round type of running back?
Yeah, I'm bad at that stuff, but I love Travion Henderson. I loved his tape. He's explosive. He's a very good receiver. He's a great pass protector. There were shots where he just flattened blitzers. I just think he's a really good player. Backs are really interesting. People like to talk about, is a guy special? That moniker has kind of fallen by the wayside. Who would have thought 3-4 years ago that Kyron Williams coming out of Notre Dame would be a feature foundation back in the NFL and get over 300 carries? So backs are very much a function of team and scheme in the NFL. Could Henderson be a guy that is your number one back? Sure, he could. Look what Bucky Irving did with the Bucks last year. No one thought he'd get over 200 carries, and he did. So, Henderson certainly has the ability to be that guy, depending on who drafts him. But I loved his tape. I think he's a really good prospect.
All right, kind of give us, are there any, I know you said you're not in the prediction business, but do you have a kind of a instinct on something tonight, something that maybe somebody's not thinking about, or some kind of interesting turn this could take in your mind?
Well, I can only tell you how I evaluate players. Like, for instance, I think Walter Nolan is the best defensive tackle prospect in the draft. Now, I don't know where Walter Nolan's going to go. I don't know where Mason Graham's going to go. But to me, watching tape, I think Nolan is a better prospect than Mason Graham. So, again, I don't know how any of this plays out. Obviously, no one knows that. People just give their mock guesses. But I wouldn't be surprised. And, again, I don't know the players. I don't know their backgrounds. So I don't know, that could factor into why a team chooses one player over another. I think Nolan is to me clearly the best D tackle prospect in this draft class.
I know, we talked about Travis Hunter, but is there outside of him, is there a receiver here in the first round that you think that same way, that you think is better than the others?
Well, I don't know if this guy's going to go in the first round, but there's a receiver whose tape I really, really liked, and that's Jaden Higgins from Iowa State. Again, because I don't know how guys are going to draft, but I thought Higgins' tape, that he's over 6'4", he moves exceptionally well, he's got quickness to him, he's got really good hands. I know that McMillan from Arizona, who I like a lot too, by the way, I think he's actually better than people are talking about. A lot of people have made the Drake-London comparison when London came out of USC a few years ago. I personally think that McMillan is a better prospect than London and kind of a different player, even though they're similar in size. But Jaden Higgins is a player that I've done for 2 years. I really, really like his tape. And, again, I don't know where he's going to get drafted. It wouldn't surprise me if he ends up being drafted in the top 40.
It's a great call. Love that. Love that you threw the kid out from Iowa State and what he did at the Senior Bowl and Combine. That could be a gem, real diamond in the rough. Greg, thanks for this visit, man. Enjoy the draft weekend, and we hope to talk to you again soon. Thank you.
All right, guys, appreciate it. Thanks so much.
Outstanding. Greg Cosell, executive producer, analyst at NFL Matchup. That is when I like that. I like when he didn't just go chalk and name the receivers we've named. You go back to Higgins, ran a 4.39 at the Combine, and that's a name you just haven't heard a lot about. And he dominated the Senior Bowl. That's a cool Cool name to throw out.
Yeah, no doubt. And you mentioned a name earlier that I'm fascinated to see where he goes at the wide receiver position, and that is Luther Burden, the third from Missouri, because prior to this season, I mean, in the offseason, he was talked about as the guy at wide receiver in the similar light that Carson Beck was being talked about at the quarterback position. So he went through a little bit of a rocky road, but the talent has always been there. I don't know why.
Could go to Denver instead of Ibuka, or
I've seen first round, I've seen third round with him. So just the stock for him has been all over the place. But that's definitely a name I'll be monitoring this weekend is Luther Burden III, one of those Missouri Tigers.
All right, we're going to come back. Did a GM's family member actually tip a pick? We'll tell you next. Rothman and Ice on the Fan.
Unlike your deadbeat uncle, we'll never leave you stranded in a ditch when you were 6. This promo may have been a touch too specific. The Fan.
Get your air conditioner fixed fast. Call Care Heating and Cooling. 1-800-COOLING.
Okay, so I'm gonna let you in on a little secret. Wendy's has this new Cajun Crunch chicken sandwich. And to be honest, I'm kind of crushing hard on this Sammy. It's packed with bold Cajun flavors and topped with crispy onions for a satisfying crunch. All on Wendy's iconic spicy chicken sandwich. It's honestly kind of my dream sandwich. I hope it likes me back. For a sandwich you'll love, gotta be Wendy's. Open till midnight or later.
Limited time only at participating U.S. Wendy's. Hours may vary by location.
Buy now with pre-tariff pricing at Coughlin Kia. Lease a new 2025 Kia K4, just $195 a month plus taxes and fees. Or choose low 1.9% financing for 60 months on a new 2025 Kia Sportage or Sorrento. Visit CoughlinKia.com.
Coughlin has the car for you.
1.9% for 60 months equals $18.37 per 1,000 with approved credit through Kia Motor Finance. 24-month lease, 10,000 miles per year, 20 cents per mile over. 2025 due. Excludes $250 dock fee, $400 disposition fee at lease end. No security deposit. See dealer for details. Ends 4/30/25.
Master Grillers Unite. Their grilling season never ends at Billiards Plus. Come see their best-in-class grills for yourself and check out Central Ohio's largest selection of pool tables, game furniture, and shuffleboard. Family-owned and operated. Billiards Plus on Dublin Center Drive in Dublin.
My house has a new glow. I love my windows. Universal Windows Direct.
Buy 2 windows, get 2 free. No limit. Pay no interest till 2030 plus $500 off your home improvement project. Restrictions apply. Call them today. 614-502-5220. Like me, you'll be saying, I love my windows.
I love my windows. They've got that brand new home effect. Universal Windows Direct.
After 5 months of gray winter skies, we're all ready for beautiful spring color. It's only natural. Get to Oakland Nursery for an explosion of spring colors. Blooming shrubs, fragrant lilacs, hydrangeas, azaleas, and rhododendrons. And Central Ohio's largest selection of roses with thousands to choose from. Break out of winter's gray with spring's beautiful colors at Oakland Nursery. And celebrate Oakland Nursery's 85 years of serving you. If you haven't been to Oakland Nursery, you simply haven't been to a nursery.
It's Lindsay's one and only trade-a-thon.
Trade up today and get $1,000 above market for your vehicle. Choose a 2025 Honda Ridgeline RTL or an all-wheel drive HR-V LX or a CR-V LX and pay just $299 a month. 3 models with one very low Lindsay price.
Trade up to the reliability of a new or certified Honda.
So lock in your price today. The one and only Lindsay Honda Trade-a-thon is back.
See lindsayhonda.com for details. What's the best way to make sure you don't miss any of your favorite fan shows? Oh no. Download the Fan app, silly.
Ah, damn it, I knew that.
App Store, Google Play, or just scream right at your phone. Psst, you can also listen to Buckeye games. Do it now.
Texting enrolls you into recurring automated text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
Hey, Dan, how you doing? Haven't seen you around the gym for a while.
Yeah, I've really fallen off. Since I turned 40, I just don't get the results I used to get.
Could be lower testosterone.
Lower T?
Yeah, I went through it a while back. Once you hit 40, your body has less free testosterone. I got Nugenix Total T, and it's made a huge difference for me.
I've seen that ad on TV. Is it for real?
Oh, yeah. The key ingredient is something called Tesnor, which helps boost free and total testosterone levels to help you trim up and stay lean.
And it's made a difference for you?
you? Man, I feel like I'm in my 20s again. At work, in the gym, and in the bedroom.
Are they still giving out complimentary bottles for people to try it for themselves?
Yeah, you just need to send them a text.
Text Kettle to 321-321 right now for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T, the #1 selling testosterone booster at GNC. Plus, text now and we'll include a bottle of Nugenix Thermo, our most powerful fat incinerator ever, to help you get back into shape fast. Absolutely free. Text KETTLE to 321-321. That's Kettle to 321-321. The Fan Guest Hotline is sponsored by Columbus, Worthington, Air, and Bryant. Doing whatever it takes to keep you and your home comfortable. The Fan.
Anthony's tennis shorts were so tight, they had to pixelate his crotch. You're listening to Rothman and Ice.
All right, back at it. All right, let's see if we have a little bit of a leak. So this was a story that came out that the New York Giants GM, Joe Shane, and they're picking 3, and obviously they could be in the quarterback business as well, but if Abdul Carter is there, I really don't think they're going to pass up on him. Just too much of a high floor, high ceiling. Like, you've got it all. It's kind of a can't miss.
And what they could create with the guys that they have in-house on D-line already could be terrifying. I mean, you pair him up with Brian Burns and Dexter Lawrence and Kayvon Thibodeau. You talk about dominating the line of scrimmage with that guy. Yeah, if I'm a Giants fan, that's what I would want, is to just have our D-line wrecking games, which I think they would do if they get Carter tonight.
Yeah, he's a double-digit sack guy right out of the gate. And I feel like reaching for a quarterback there is not what they want to do. But Joe Shane's son, Carson, famously told his father to draft Jaden Daniels last year.
Yeah, on HBO and Hard Knocks.
Hard Knocks.
Go up and get him, Pops.
Said, you only get this job once. Might as well try to win.
How's that
Guess
looking
what?
today?
It was pretty good advice.
The kid knows ball.
And so he looks like a franchise quarterback for Washington.
Yeah, man.
And offensive rookie of the year. And he led him to an NFC championship game. And I drafted him like Joe Shane's son in fantasy. And I still didn't win.
I have a question about that.
And I'm still hurting about that.
Did it look bad on Joe Shane's part that he actually had a pen and paper and was writing down notes when he was asking his children, all teenagers or younger, hey, who do you want us to draft? Like, pen and paper.
You don't think that was for a little bit of just kind of placating them a little bit and just kind of a little bit of a show? And
I think just
kind of
asking
a fun
them,
thing.
like, hey, what do you guys think? It's just making them feel good and feel involved, period.
That's
But he
what I
was
mean.
like, oh, my 13-year-old wants me to take Jaden Daniels. I'm going to write that down.
How old is Carson?
I don't know. That's a good question.
The guy that knew about Jaden Daniels. Because I might want to tap his brain again.
He might be grinding the tape. Listen, you telling me you've never been in a relationship and your girl is just going on and on about something and you're just like, yeah, okay, that's cool. Or dang, that's crazy. Like, you've never played that. That's what I'm saying. You've never played that game before?
Yeah. I mean, look, he could have been playing Hangman or whatever. Like, maybe he wasn't actually taking notes and just fooling them.
Playing Hangman.
Yeah. Like, you're just trying to, like Maddie said, just kind of placate the situation.
That's all you're doing.
We need to find out how old this Carson kid is.
Carson, look that up for us, Loose Cannon, if you get a second. But the reason why this kid has been talked about so much over the last 12 to 24 hours is because he threw out on his Instagram a highlight reel of one Jackson Dart. After that, he proceeded to set his account to private. And so the reason why some people are rolling along with this is because of what I just mentioned. And then you have a guy in Daniel Jeremiah who put out his latest mock draft last night and had the New York Giants trading back into the first round to acquire Jackson Dart. They worked him out. They had a private workout with him last month. They've done that with a few quarterbacks, so that's nothing really to go crazy about. But there seems to be some people that are, quote, in the know, whether it's his son or Daniel Jeremiah, that believe that they really have an interest in one Jackson Dart, and at some point they plan on selecting him, and it may be as early as tonight.
Freshman in high school.
So he's 14, 15
Okay,
years old.
so he's old enough to take him seriously, and it's not just a a fun little thing. He did. I mean, it's weird that he would put him out there like that, because if you like him, not that your dad's going to listen to you, but you want to just keep everything as private as possible. Now, do you guys remember the story involving Carlos Mendoza, Mets manager, when one of his sons posted that what the Mets had offered Soto?
No, I don't remember.
$700 million over 15 years on TikTok, and then he had to delete the account. There's a lot of public scrutiny on it.
No, I don't remember this.
That. The Mets ultimately did outbid the Yankees. And guess what they got him for?
700 M's.
Well, 765
right.
over 15 years.
Right.
Like the kid had it.
Yeah, that's what I'm
perfectly.
saying. This is
700 over 15.
Right.
He had it.
I'm not stamping this that Shane's son knows that they're taking him at some point, but I think it's all something we just need to remember going into tonight.
Here's the difference, and this is the main difference, and it's the obvious difference. One guy you can pay to come play for you.
The other
One guy you have to draft.
Correct.
Other teams are involved here.
Yeah.
He can like him all he wants. Where this would blow up, beyond blow up, is if they took him 3. That's not happening.
I'm going to fall off my couch tonight if that
would
happens.
be the most ridiculous. I'm not saying if they love him, they love him, but they don't have to take him there. They can trade back up somewhere in the first round and still get him most likely. I do think that the Steelers, if you do like Jackson Dart, if the Giants do really love him more than anybody else, and they want to take Abdul Carter, my gut tells me they have to somehow get in front of the Steelers.
Oh, yeah.
Because now you could tell me the counter to that would be, well, what if Shedeur slides? Then the Steelers are probably taking him. I don't know. Maybe the Steelers like Jackson Dart.
Well, Shefty threw out the tweet this morning that when it comes to Denver, he said Broncos have fielded calls in recent days from teams interested in potentially moving up to Denver's 20th selection per sources. The Broncos currently hold the draft slot in front of Pittsburgh.
Bam.
At 21.
That's it.
No doubt. That's absolutely it. And so I mentioned Daniel Jeremiah in his latest mock. He has them coming to 18. So I just wanted to get that right. And trading out with the Seahawks.
Seattle, yeah.
He says the Giants and the Browns are both candidates to trade back into the first round with the goal of moving ahead of the quarterback-needy Steelers. I've heard talk about the Seahawks looking to trade out of round 1, so this pairing makes sense. New York would get its quarterback in Seattle. GM John Schneider would be armed with a boatload of day 2 picks. There's a belief in league circles that the Giants view Dart as the better fit than Shedeur Sanders.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And you got to get it. So you can't roll the dice on that.
And if you're Joe Shane, like you're not banking on your kid's take when it comes to quarterbacks. But after what happened last year with Jane Daniels and what he turned into, it's in his mind. It's in his mind. He's always going to rely on what he sees and what his scout sees.
He don't lie. He don't lie. He don't lie. Joe Shane.
What's that from?
Well, it's a song by Eric Clapton back in the day called Cocaine, but changed the name to Joe Shane.
Okay.
All right. Man. Top of the hour. Sports Center update. We come back and we talk about number 2. Lock it in. That's next. Rothman and Ice on the Fan.
Oh, hey, the best football team in the country's on the best radio station in the country. Congratulations, Buckeyes. Here's to 100 more years together. Your home of the Buckeyes, the Fan.
Montana, Bettis, Horning, and Brown, some of the greatest of all time, kicked off their careers in South Bend. You can celebrate Notre Dame football's impact on the professional game by visiting the Pro Football Hall of Fame in Canton to experience gold helmet to gold jacket now through April 27th. And register to win our grand prize at 971thefan.com/goldjacket. One winner will receive 2 tickets to the Hall of Fame game enshrinement ceremony presented by Novartis and the Hall of Fame Museum. That's 971thefan.com/goldjacket.
I can't wait to meet her. Oh my gosh.
Put your hands together for new Dr. Pepper Blackberry and Dr. Pepper Blackberry Zero Sugar.
There she is! Woohoo! Yeah! It's full Dr. Pepper!
With sweet blackberry flavor!
Dr. Pepper Blackberry, I'm obsessed with your succulent taste. Please marry me!
No! Marry me! Marry me or I'm gonna freak out!
Try new Dr. Pepper Blackberry.
It's a pepper thing!
I've had a number of surgeries, and frankly, I don't have time to rehab a surgery and an operation at this point in my life. I didn't want to take time off my kids' activities.
That's why former college and pro football player Bobby Carpenter turned to QC Kinetics. We couldn't be happier saving our patients like him from operating rooms and long recoveries.
They will resume like normal activity for me, which is a lot of running. It's a lot of workouts. I've been very, very blessed with how it's been able to hold up.
For so long, patients have accepted surgery as the only solution. But with new technologies, the medical professionals at QC Kinetics use regenerative treatments, your body's own biologics, to help heal and restore knees, hips, shoulders, and backs.
I actually ran into a friend of mine over at our golf course, and he had his knee done. It felt so well. He'd got his shoulder done. He goes, I can't thank you enough. He'd heard the commercial on the air, and so it's feeling great.
Find out how you can avoid surgery and finally get relief. Call QC Kinetics now for your free consultation.
Call QC Kinetics, 380-208-4544. That's 380-208-4544. 380-208-4544.
I can't sleep.
What is it now?
It's the company. It's chaos.
What's chaos now?
The numbers, the expenses, the books. What if we get audited?
No one's going to audit you at 3 a.m. Go to sleep.
I can't sleep.
You could if you used Ramp.
Who said that?
I don't care because they're right. Go to sleep and sign up for Ramp in the morning, Jerry.
Ramp is the corporate card that handles all your tedious financial operations automatically, integrates directly with your ERP, and gives you complete control over every transaction. Ramp gives you everything you need for bulletproof books and a better night's sleep.
Wow, that is exactly what my company needs.
Yes, and exactly what I also need. Go to sleep, Jerry.
Upgrade to Ramp for free today and get $250 at ramp.com/radio. Ramp.com/radio. That's ramp.com/radio.
Cards issued by Sutton Bank, members FDIC. Terms and conditions apply.
It's been a great run. Care Heating and Cooling has achieved goals I could only imagine 30 years ago. But now it's time for the next generation to take over. This is Mike Weens, now the retired founder of Care Heating and Cooling with my sons, Dennis and Ryan.
Dad, as Care grew over the years, you had many opportunities to sell Care to one of the big conglomerates that are buying companies all over Central Ohio. So tell our customers why you decided to keep Care in the family.
After talking about Care's values for over 30 years, I couldn't bear the thought of Care becoming the kind of company I was warning our customers about. I know the two of you will continue to treat our customers as I would, with honesty and integrity.
We will, Dad. In 2024, Care was awarded a BBB Torch Award for Ethics and was named the Lennox Partner of the Year. You don't earn those awards by leaving cat toys behind.
Call Care Heating and Cooling at 1-800-COOLING or schedule an appointment online at careheatingandcooling.com. When you need a company you can trust.
The sports calendar is heating up, and with ESPN Bet Sportsbook, you can go from checking news and stats to placing bets in just a couple of taps. Stream games, bet live, and get exclusive offers when you link your ESPN account. Right now, you can get $100 in bonus bets when you make your first $10 wager. Download the ESPN Bet app and sign up with promo code JOEQ to get started today. That's JOEQ, Joe Q. Must be 21 plus. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Terms and conditions apply. See app for details. Offer not available in New York.
Vivid Seats is your ultimate destination for basketball and hockey this season. With a game-changing rewards program and an unbeatable selection of tickets, they make it easy for every fan to watch their favorite teams and players in action. Catch every one-timer and buzzer-beating 3 live and in person from your favorite seat. Plus, every ticket is backed by a 100% buyer guarantee, giving you peace of mind with every purchase. Don't miss out. Visit VividSeats.com or download the app today. Vivid Seats, the official ticketing partner of ESPN.
Broadcasting from the Lindsay Honda Studios.
Honda makes the cars. Lindsay makes the difference. Visit lindsayhonda.com.
WBNS-FM, HD1 Columbus. The Fan. Sports Center.
Good afternoon. I'm Ryan Baker. Round 1 of the NFL Draft gets underway tonight at 8. The Titans on the clock with the number 1 pick. What will the Browns do at 2? The Bengals at 17. How many Buckeyes will be selected tonight? Keep it locked right here on The Fan because we'll have you covered with a special NFL Draft preview show from 7 to 8 live at Hollywood Casino, then draft coverage immediately after. 3 games in the NBA playoffs this evening as the Pistons host the Knicks at 7. The Thunder head to Memphis to face the Grizzlies at 9:30. Then at 10, the Clippers host the Nuggets. The Cavs will play Game 3 of their series with the Heat Saturday afternoon at 1. 4 games in the NHL playoffs tonight, and the Columbus Clippers look to snap a 4-game losing streak in Lehigh Valley. First pitch, 6:45. This one's sponsored by RCD RV Supercenter in Heath, Delaware, and Pataskala, and always online at rcdrv.com.
A perfect afternoon parlay. This is Rothman and Ice.
Second hour of the program. Joe DeLeon, A to Z Sports, 1:30. Or as I like to call him, Ponce de Leon. All right. So the Browns are about as big of a lock here as anybody. And you would never have said that a month ago. Just, you wouldn't have, you didn't know the Travis Hunter thing. While it's tempting, you thought they'd go quarterback. Shedeur was always looked at as 1 and 1A with Cam Ward. And now we're starting to learn that while he's a very good player, he may not be a franchise quarterback. Or he may be exactly what you like. Tough, accurate, smart, coachable. Maybe not the greatest runner in the world, but maybe mobile enough. And you start thinking about that would be coveted by the Browns at this point. But he's not a giant, and he just doesn't have the off-the-chart traits that people are looking for a quarterback. But he may be the perfect quarterback for somebody later in the first round, or maybe the Steelers with their weapons. We'll get more to that story in a second. But yesterday I said on the program, this is the lock. Lock of all locks. You cannot... I'm not saying if they took Abdul Carter, that's a bad pick. It's a good pick.
Yeah, pairing him with Miles, you're cooking.
But they need offense.
Yeah, they do.
The only counter to that would be, well, if they don't have the quarterback, how good is he going to, what's he going to do for him? All right. But you don't have him for 1 year. You hope one day you do land the right quarterback.
And you've got a guy in-house right now in Joe Flacco who you've watched with your own eyes as a Browns fan move the offense up and down the field. And a few of those games, he did it at a very, very high level. So I think they're going to have a guy under center who knows what's required of him in that offense and will get the rock out. He's going to have those games where it's just like, what is he looking at? That's just the Flacco experience. It's what you're getting. But as far as it being steadier than what it was last year, there's no doubt in my mind Joe Flacco is going to be able to provide that. You drop Travis Hunter into the mix with Jerry Jeudy and Njoku. It's a nice little three-headed monster to have on the outside, especially if what we saw from Jeudy last year is for real. Like, that, to me, isn't being talked about enough, and why I think taking Travis Hunter does make sense to me at 2. The defense stuff and what they get from him on defense, that's going to be fine. But I think the pairing of those two guys and what I think Travis Hunter will be, if Jerry Jeudy is that dude they're really going to be onto something with their wide receiver.
Well, you could make the case that that you should look at it the other way, where if you know you don't have an elite quarterback, you need elite weapons.
Right.
You could look at it that way.
Yep.
And so he's being talked about, and this may be just crazy high expectations, that he is Justin Jefferson and Patrick Surtain in one body.
Okay. That is
like, I'm telling you,
that's absurd.
That's how
whoever said that.
Well, Shohei, Michael Jordan.
No, that came from Andrew Barry.
This is coming from people.
Let's not put that on the guy. Justin Jefferson and the reigning defensive player of the year. Well, I don't want to do that to him. I don't want to do that to him. If that's what somebody sees, fine. But those are
don't ruin the party, Matty. Come on.
That's crazy.
Jefferson and Surtain.
That's ridiculous.
We're getting both of them in one man's body. That sounds about right. So here's Mary Kay Cabot, who we had on at the Super Bowl Radio Row. And she spoke about, I believe, and I haven't heard this completely, but I think we're going down the road of that this is the home run they'd like to hit at number 2.
I'm sure that they have fielded calls from a number of different spots, a number of different places, but unless somebody knocks their socks off, they're not moving off of Travis Hunter.
It's done. That credit sounds credited to 92.3 up in Cleveland. And so I think that's absolutely what you do, is you get a guy that you know is going to provide security for you on either side of the ball. When you're picking this high, don't overthink it. The Abdul Carter foot thing for me is something that would sway me back over to Travis Hunter. It's where I've been the last week or
Maddie,
two.
you gave him a foot massage. You told me it was fine.
I'm not into the Rex Ryan stuff. That ain't my type of party right there. I'll leave that up to you.
I thought it was
Being a
more of
masseuse
the.
on the
I
side.
thought it was more of the Pulp Fiction version. Why not? You
It's
guys
done.
have seen that, right?
Yeah,
When Samuel L. Jackson and
Yeah.
John Travolta are starting a conversation and some guy who gave a foot massage. I think it's over. I think that's the pick. I think that's why the books aren't offering you the chance to bet on number 2 or number 1. They can't put the odds on there that would make sense for anybody to bet. It's too much of a landslide right now. There is, and I'll bring up Cleveland's, see if I can grab, I don't even think, actually Cleveland's first pick is not on the board. Like, I love Bet365. You can go to every single team and actually bet the position that they'll take. Not the player, the position, with their first pick. And there's some really cool ones in there that I'll mention later, some value picks at 215. But you cannot bet right now on Bet365 on the second pick on the board. And there's a reason for that. They know it. Everybody knows it. It's probably the right thing to do. I used to be kind of in the, I think a month and a half ago, I was in the Abdul Carter, but that was when I thought Myles Garrett was gone. We had that conversation when Myles Garrett requested a trade, and I said, okay, draft his replacement. I was all about that. The second he re-signed, I was able to move off of that, and I think they're thinking the same thing.
Yeah, they are thinking the same thing because this is an offense last year that really struggled. Bottom in the league in points per game. Now you're getting a guy who won the Heisman, won the Biletnikoff, was second in the nation in receiving touchdowns, so he knows how to be creative with his routes and get to the second level and create openings for his wide receiver, which he did for Shador. I want to play this Daniel Jeremiah cut for you. He was on the Pardon My Take podcast, and here's his evaluation of Travis Hunter as a wideout.
Cleveland's going to take him. He's going to major on offense. He's going to minor on defense.
Really?
Yeah. Oh, I think so. Yeah.
I always assumed it was the other way around. You have him graded higher as a wide receiver?
I think he's more impactful as a receiver right now. And so to me, I think that's where you start him, especially in a team in Cleveland who doesn't have the premier quarterback. And maybe, I do think they try and come away with one and get back in to take one. But to me, yeah, I think he'll be on the opposite side of Jerry Jeudy, and they'll get the ball in his hands as much as possible.
So that pairs with what Andrew Berry thinks of him too.
At the beginning, first of all, I think he said the right thing in the middle there, which was it makes sense for Cleveland to do it this way because that's where their biggest need is. I came away from this college football season believing that he's more valuable at corner, just as a player. I thought you'd play him 10 snaps at receiver, red zone package. The difference now is if Cleveland takes him, we need you more on this side of the ball. And that's what's going to happen because people said you don't play a guy full-time at receiver and part-time at corner. He's more valuable at corner. And
yeah, I need the rock in his hands as much as possible. That's how you impact the game.
Well, they also think he's
on the
a damn great receiver. It's not just for them.
Correct.
They think he is comparable to last year's big three.
Yeah. So the intrigue for me now when it comes to the Browns is not the number 2 pick. It's what they do next.
That's right. Do they wait?
Right. Do they wait around for day 2 at 33 and grab a quarterback, or does Andrew Berry and company bust the move back into the first round and grab someone at quarterback? I did see when it came down to Jalen Milroe that the odds now for the team to draft Jalen Milroe are in favor of the Cleveland Browns at plus 230. The New York Giants are at plus 380. So
I would take the value on the Giants
at plus 380.
I would take more money that the Giants would take Milroe and the Browns would take Shuck if Dart's gone, which I assume he will be. And Shador, the question becomes, are we getting 3 quarterbacks tonight?
Well, real quick, AR, I think the Browns are in on Jalen Milroe because of the Tommy Reese connection and their time at Alabama. And Kevin Stefanski wanting, in my opinion, a dynamic playmaker at the position. And they have guys in-house that can allow Jalen Milroe, let that marinate for a little bit. Let it marinate a little bit. And I'm telling you, when you see Lamar twice a year, you're like, we want something like that. We want something like that.
The poor man's version.
And he might be that. He might be that because they see Lamar twice. They see right away what Jaden Daniels was able to do as a rookie. And he's not ready. Jalen Milroe's not ready at the same level with Jaden Daniels. Jaden Daniels played a bunch of ball going back to Arizona State, then his time at LSU. But when you see that and you see how dangerous that is, I can understand why Cleveland would be so in on taking Jalen Milroe. And I think they're going to find a way to get him at some point this weekend.
Stefanski.
He's going to be gone early.
He can be a very frustrating guy, Milroe. I see the upside. I don't know if he'll ever tap into it. He's got a big arm.
Mm-hmm.
He's fast. I look at Tyler Shuck, and I see 6'5", 220, 7 years of college down the drain, 32 career starts, sees the field. I feel he's a little more of an established guy, but he's also, how old is he?
24?
Is he gonna? No, I think he may even be
a little older than that. 25.
Yeah. That's the only. He's 25 now.
Yeah,
he'll be 26 when the season starts.
You know me.
Horrible.
That doesn't scare me too much. Especially in an era where guys are playing for more time than they've ever played at that.
Yeah, if
position.
you got him between years 26 and 36,
you're fine.
You'd feel because then you'd be like, he turned out exactly where we thought he'd be.
Correct. I'm just following a little bit of the breadcrumbs of what the Browns have done with bringing in DTR and bringing in Snoop Huntley and guys like that. I think they're trying to find that.
What are the odds of the Browns and Giants both stay where they are at 33 and 34 and get the quarterbacks there? I think they panic. I think one of them's got to panic and get back into the first round.
I agree with you.
Because you want to control that fifth year anyway. If you think he's good enough to grab at 33, then you definitely think he's good enough to grab at 32.
Yeah. And they're probably in competition with each other.
That's right. That's right. That's why the only reason I took the values because I have no clue, and I'd rather take the plus money on the Giants liking Milroe and the Browns liking Shuck.
Real quick, just want to get this out here. Yeah. Browns obviously picking second overall in round 1. Round 2, they have the 33rd pick. Round 3, they have 67 and 94.
All right, we're going to come back. Could the Steelers make more noise on who they trade versus who they pick? That's next. Rothman and Ice on the Fan.
Wake up with the Fan. Eat lunch with the Fan. Go to bed with the Fan. Dream about the Fan. Then change your sheets. Gross.
Ew, you guys are gross, but stick around in case I don't find anyone else.
The Fan.
Breaking news coming in from Bet365, and it's no surprise. Same game parlay from Bet365 just keeps getting better.
Well, it's even easier to make a bet. Choose from the most popular markets like hits, run line, totals, and home runs. So many to choose from.
Download the app, start building your bet, and see why it's never ordinary at Bet365. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 21 plus only. Must be physically located in Ohio. T&Cs apply.
Common Man here of Spring Cleaning has you thinking about spring upgrading. This is the month to do it. Freshen your home's look, boost your energy efficiency, and save big during Universal Windows Direct's Spring Home Improvement event. Right now, it's their classic fan favorite offer. You buy 2 windows, you get 2 free, and there's no limit. If you buy 4, you pay for 2. If you need 12, you pay for 6. What are you waiting for? Schedule your free in-home estimate today. Give them a call, 614-502-5220, or visit universalwindowsdirect.com.
Stories like this are really who we are. Hi, it's Steve Lindsay with Lindsay Honda. One of my son's coaches was having an issue with his transmission in his Honda. He had gotten quoted almost $9,000. He's like, can you help me out on the price on getting one through your Honda dealership? And I said, yeah. I said, but let's bring the vehicle in and let's make sure you, in fact, do need a transmission. We did a complete flush on his transmission and a software update on it, and that fixed his problem. And this guy has an extra $8,500 in his pocket because he reached out and I was able to connect him with my staff. We're going to take a step back and make sure we're actually treating the core issue, not just the symptom.
This month at Lindsay Honda, choose a 2025 Honda Ridgeline RTL, Honda HR-V or CR-V, and pay just $299 a month at our famous Lindsay Honda Trade-A-Thon. We'll trade for anything and give you $1,000 more for your vehicle all month long. Visit lindsayhonda.com for details.
Master Grillers Unite. The grilling season never ends at Billiards Plus. Come see their best-in-class grills for yourself and check out Central Ohio's largest selection of pool tables, game furniture, and shuffleboard. Family-owned and operated. Billiards Plus on Dublin Center Drive in Dublin.
Common Man here for the ESPN Bet Sportsbook at Hollywood Casino Columbus. Watching big events are more fun at Hollywood Casino. For example, there's this draft thing coming up. Large men get selected to move to different cities and play football. That's all I'm legally allowed to say. Not only do you get the excitement of on-site wagering and camaraderie, there's prizes to win at the sportsbook. And sign up for Penn Play Rewards and play up to $500 on the house. Do it now. Must be 21. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Now at White Castle, you can get 12 chicken rings for just $3.99. Tender on the inside, crispy on the outside. Choose from classic or our new Cheddar Blast flavor made with real cheddar cheese. White Castle. Follow your crave. Limited time only at participating castles. Tax not included.
Fish has been named the third best sports program director in the country. Winner. The two dudes who finished ahead of him are dead. So we're declaring him the winner. You're listening to the home of champions, the Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Help DEA keep our community safe and healthy by participating in National Prescription Drug Take-Back Day, Saturday, April 26th. Take action right in your own home by cleaning out your medicine cabinet of unneeded medications. Keep them safe, clean them out, take them back. Find a collection site near you at DEATakeback.com. Do your part to lower overdose deaths and prevent prescription drug misuse before it starts. That's DEATakeback.com.
Hello, it's John Kozik, founder and president of TurboTrack Realty. Do you want to sell your property, however, you need a little help getting through the process? Let's say you have years of belongings in the home. It needs a lot of updating, you're overwhelmed, and you may need help finding a place to go. I will help you. Visit us today at TurboTrackRealty.com or call me now for an all-cash offer and, more importantly, the help you need at 614-470-2000, 614-470-2000.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
We're looking at a pop-up shower and storm chance this afternoon, so keep an eye on the radar on your 10 TV app. Temperatures will be in the low 80s. We'll drop to the low 60s tonight as rain chances end. Friday, mostly dry to start, but rain chances increase through the afternoon, peaking during the evening and overnight. Highs in the 70s, 60s as we dry back out on Saturday. That's your latest 10 weather impact forecast. I'm meteorologist Michael Behrens on 97.1 The Fan.
Bet365, the official online sports book of Rothman and Ice. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Their live golf team name is Ice Dogs. You're listening to Rothman and Ice.
The Pittsburgh Steelers select Juju Smith-Schuster from USC. Wow.
The 49th pick in the 2020 NFL Draft, Pittsburgh Steelers select Chase Claypool, wide receiver, Notre Dame.
It's my honor to welcome the 52nd pick in the 2022 NFL Draft. The Pittsburgh Steelers select George Pickens, Georgia.
I can only imagine what is going through Mike Tomlin's mind right now.
Full admission, I actually like Claypool.
Oh, man. You were a Claypool guy.
I thought he had a great ceiling. I thought he was pretty physical as a receiver. I thought he was going to the right team.
By the way, good stuff
weird.
out of you right there, baby Chet, loose cannon. That was good production.
But here's the deal. You got out of it okay, right?
Oh, with what they got back?
The trade to the Bears.
They got a second, didn't they?
Sir, Joey Porter Jr.
I almost was going to say, don't include him in that because rarely can you rescue stuff the way they did with Claypool, and they did.
He was a bust. He had that one good year.
Big and
his rookie year was so good.
It was amazing, right? Like out of the gate, comes from Notre Dame, and he was an absolute
Give him the
dog.
Yeah.
They were calling him Mapletron.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, and then the Bears were so hell-bent on, we got to get Fields a weapon.
Yeah.
We got to get him something.
Mm-hmm.
And
we got the social media addicts. No more second-round receivers, please.
Oh, Juju was TikToking all over the place.
Again, another guy who peaked his
rookie
year.
And then the Bears traded him to the Dolphins.
For like a sixth rounder or something.
Well, they also gave up a late rounder, him and a late rounder, to get a sixth, I believe.
And he's not on the team anywhere
That's right
now.
So you could almost make the case, well, no, they gave you guys a 2. So the Bears don't get any credit here, really, for getting out of it.
And there was I believe, if I'm not mistaken, a forfeited pick. So the 33 actually was 32. So in a sense, it functioned like a first-round pick.
That's a first-round pick. You're right.
No, I'm not going to crush the Bears too much because they did wind up getting DJ Moore from the Panthers when they traded down.
And the better quarterback
number
of the
one,
two, probably.
Yeah, so they've done, the dominoes have fallen where they've kind of rescued a little bit. But here's the stat line for Chase Claypool with the Bears. 18 catches for 191 yards and 1 touchdown in 10 games. You know what they
191 yards in 10 games?
You know what they were in those 10 games? 0-10.
We only draft cancers.
Oh, man.
Justin Fields' QBR with Chase Claypool on the field. Ready for this?
Mm-hmm.
13.7. When Chase Claypool was not on the field, 74.7.
And Justin Fields looked back at Chicago and was like, dang. Soon as I left, DJ Moore, Keenan Allen, Ruma Dunze. Soon as I leave. This how you do your boy?
Steelers weren't. The problem isn't that Chase Claypool is gone. It's the Bears saying Chase Claypool is here.
Yeah.
That was the problem.
So the reason why we're going down this road and why you heard what you heard off the top from the loose cannon is because yesterday after we left, people started to discover on social media that one George Pickens has wiped clean on social media anything Steelers related, unfollowed the team,
absolutely,
all of that stuff. And we know how this works. Usually when you see this, Mike Gundy, is when a guy wants a new contract. He wants a new contract, and that's one card that players like to play. The reason why I think this is popping up now is because Pickens has heard probably from his agent that maybe the Steelers are going to move you at some point this weekend. He's going into the last year of his contract. He has absolutely been a headache for them. We all saw last year a few times cameras catching Mike Tomlin talking to Pickens throughout games, trying to calm him down. I remember we had Ray Fittipaldo on from the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette, and he threw out there for that Christmas Day game on Netflix against Mahomes and company that he showed up very late.
Yeah.
And so these are the things that they've had to deal with.
Got into it with the fans.
All of that stuff. This has been...
That was against the Bengals.
This has gone on for a few years now with this guy. The talent is for real. He's absolutely, I think, legit at the wide receiver position. So I think because of where his contract is, because of some of the issues that they've had to deal with when it comes to this dude, that they're looking around and saying, maybe we can get off Pickens now, get another pick or two. They don't have a day 2 pick, the Steelers. They don't have any of those right now. So maybe them doing, some chatter with a team that does have a couple second round picks or whatever that looks like, and getting off him now, not having to worry about paying him and replenishing the wall at the wide receiver position. I could understand what they're thinking right now, because in that building down there in Pittsburgh, what they know they do well is identify wide receiver talent. What comes along with that talent has been a roller coaster ride, as we've seen. But a lot of guys under Mike Tomlin's watch have been productive players for them coming out of the wide receiver room.
Yeah. So I would answer this question the only way I can, which is from the outside looking in. I really don't know what kind of problem he is or cancer he is. I don't know. He might be. He might just not grow up. He might be just that immature diva receiver because you just got Metcalf. This is ideal to hand to a new quarterback. This is perfect.
Yeah.
You would think he'd be more on board because Omar has said he likes him, and now maybe they're just blowing smoke, but I would love to see what the Steelers could do pairing those guys together.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it'd be great. On paper, this is a bad move. I would not trade him. I wouldn't do it. Those talents, you can't find those talents. He's that talented, I think. But I'm saying that as someone that doesn't have to coach him or play with him or manage him. I don't. So usually football teams always err on the side of talent.
Mm-hmm.
But you brought up an interesting thing about the draft picks and compiling, and they did just get DK. So they feel like they have something there to hand the new quarterback. But it's just kind of one of those things about the whole, there was, I don't know if you guys saw this, I don't even know when it was, but it surfaced on social media in the last week about those people in that Monday Night Golf League in Canada they were playing that Monday night, like after work golf league, and there was a big fight that went down. About 8 or 9, 10 people
broke his
shirts
jaw
off. I mean, just brawl city. And it's really funny and funny to watch, not for the guy that got hit. But at the very end of it, there's a woman that was in the group that was being yelled at. The story goes is that they were playing very slowly, and that the group behind them kept hitting into them. Like, it's kind of dangerous.
No doubt
it's not. It's stupid. People do it, like fire a warning shot and all that. Come on. It's like a bullet. And so, anyway, there's the last line in the fight. If you stayed and watched like the 10, 11 minutes of this fight, the woman at the end goes, "Grow up." And the guy who's on the other foursome who hit in him says, "Play better golf." Or no, actually he says, "Learn how to golf." And you know what? I think that's the Pickens story. He knows how to play football. He just won't grow up.
Well, and
so I really don't know where they go with this, except for the fact that on paper, you do not trade a talent like this, not at his age.
I hear what you're saying. The maturity thing, though, is very hard to ignore. And I don't think, I would be shocked if that gets any better now with DK Metcalf in the house.
This is his final year of the rookie deal?
This is his final year.
So that's the biggest part.
That's why you get off him now.
Yeah.
That's why you get off him now. And you just paid DK Metcalf $150 over 5. And so you got to follow the money. DK is going to be a heavy presence in that offense, and he should be, because he's been the more consistent, better wide receiver throughout his career versus George Pickens. And so when you don't have draft capital to spend elsewhere throughout the draft, this is a way that you can get that. And whether it's Green Bay, whether it's the Saints that have 2 day 2 picks, the Raiders, the Cardinals who need wide receiver help, Pittsburgh may be able to find somebody to take Pickens off their hands. They go get another wide receiver in the draft that's going to be cheaper for a few more years. And you think if you're Mike Tomlin, I can mold another guy to be an impactful player.
I think you trade him. I mean, if he's going to hold out, that's a problem. What do you think he's worth? 3rd rounder?
That feels appropriate.
Okay. So let's say I play him this year. Amateur GM, Anthony Rothman. I play him this year. His final year's rookie contract. And he walks. Aren't I getting a 3rd round comp pick in 27? Like, I feel like if his value is the same, his trade value is the same as his comp value, why don't I just see how he does with DK? Maybe he earns an extension, but the only problem is I got to get him on board to make sure
which may be tough to do. Very tough to do.
Pairing those two guys together with whoever they have at quarterback. And what do you have, like 21 combined starts between Mason and Skylar Thompson?
No.
Exactly. So you're going to need both those guys to do something this year. I think they have the money to pay both of them. They just want him to prove that he's mature enough to deserve it.
Ooh,
and
that AR, pairing those two guys together for years at high money is very scary. Very scary. With the emotional role, because DK's he's a similar guy. Like, I think he hones it in a little bit better than Pickens, but those two guys and guaranteeing money to them, I don't know, man. Football wise, I'm with you.
So if you got a 3rd rounder, you're moving him.
I need a little bit more. I need a little bit more than that.
I could argue DK's worse.
You're the Steeler guy. Do you think he's overhyped? Do you think I just overrated him?
No, I think he's really, really talented. Not consistent enough, although I don't know how much of that is him versus poor quarterback play. But
what about the headache? Enough to move him?
I mean, I can get past that if you're making plays. Like, I don't have to work with him. If he's making plays, then if he's being a drama queen with the media and walking out on post-game press conferences when he doesn't get a question or when he gets a question that he doesn't like, that's not my concern. Again, I'm not the one who has to deal with him, but I can absolutely see why the Steelers would be like, dude, we're done.
2 minutes, we'll come back with Joe DeLeon, A to Z Sports. We'll ask him the same question. And by the way, if this rumor is true, I know for a fact that Joe may vomit on the air while talking to him. Rothman and Ice on the Fan.
Robinhood Gold members can now enjoy the VIP treatment, receiving a 3% IRA match on retirement contributions, a very handsome reward indeed. With Robinhood Gold, your annual IRA contributions are boosted by 3%. Plus, you also get 4% APY on your cash and non-retirement accounts. That's over 8 times the national savings average. The perks of the high net worth are now available for any net worth. The new gold standard is here with Robinhood Gold. To receive a 3% IRA boost on annual contributions, sign up at Robinhood.com/gold. Investing involves risk. Rates subject to change. 3% match requires Robinhood Gold at $5 a month for 1 year from first match. Must keep funds in IRA for 5 years. Go to Robinhood.com/boost. Over 8 times the national average savings account interest rate claim is based on data from the FDIC as of November 18th, 2024. Robinhood Financial LLC member SIPC. Gold membership is offered by Robinhood Gold LLC.
Montana, Bettis, Horning, and Brown, some of the greatest of all time, kicked off their careers in South Bend. You can celebrate Notre Dame football's impact on the professional game by visiting the Pro Football Hall of Fame in Canton to experience gold helmet to gold jacket now through April 27th. And register to win our grand prize at 971thefan.com/gold jacket. One winner will receive 2 tickets to the Hall of Fame game enshrinement ceremony presented by Novartis and the Hall of Fame Museum. That's 971thefan.com/gold jacket.
Hey, it's Bobby Carpenter. Spring is here, and it's time to refresh your yard with Ohio Mulch. With 15 convenient locations in Central Ohio, it's easier than ever to get your mulch ready for the season. Need it delivered? No problem. Save $50 on home delivery when you order online. Whether it's mulch, soil, or even stone, we've got your yard covered. Visit OhioMulch.com today and spruce up your garden with the best.
Ohio Mulch, landscape supply, cleaner, greener, better.
Rothman and Ice is sponsored by your local Pella Window and Door showroom on Gemini Parkway. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
The best bet on the radio. This is Rothman and Ice.
All righty, our friend Joe DeLeon, NFL draft, college football analyst for A to Z Sports NFL, and he's with us now on the Bryan Heating Cooling Systems Fan Guest Hotline. Joe, welcome in.
Appreciate you guys having me. It's been a very long cycle. Could not be any more excited to finally actually see where these guys get picked.
We talked about the story earlier about Joe Shane's son perhaps tipping a pick on Jackson Dart. You tell me how you will physically feel if this actually happens. And if it happens at 3, I think I'll fall off the couch. If it happens in the second round, certainly it probably won't hit the Richter scale too much. But give me your thoughts on that.
Yeah, so I'm a Giants fan, sadly. Suffered plenty over the last 10 years of trying to get confident quarterback play. And pick 3 would be way too much for me. Now, I don't think that that's going to come to fruition. I think that the Giants are smart enough to understand that that would be a bit of a reach for them to grab Dart there. But I think what's starting to build steam, and from what I've heard, minus the hilarious pick tipping by his son, which would be such a New York Giants thing to have occur, it sounds like that there is a strong chance that they try to trade back into the first round, and they do want to draft Jackson Dart. I think what's really intriguing about this is that do they take him ahead of Shedeur Sanders? Do they trade back in and draft him with Shedeur still on the board? That, to me, I think would be a big mistake. I think Jackson Dart in the second round, as you kind of set this up, he's a fine player. He is a guy who could be like Andy Dalton or Derek Carr, go on day 2, eventually start for a team and play unexpectedly well, but there's eventually a ceiling that you're going to hit because he doesn't have the requisite arm strength. He doesn't have the requisite decision-making, decisiveness. He's late a lot on a lot of his reads, something that it could hold him back because his arm isn't strong enough to make up for that. So I think because this being projected and the current steam of this occurring in the first round, that is where the Giants are going to miss and why it could be that final piece that, or almost actually piece isn't even the right word. It could be the final nail in the coffin for Joe Shane and Brian Daboll as they are on their very last legs of their last chances to prove something here in New York.
Joe, if we go to bed tonight and the Cleveland Browns have selected Travis Hunter at 2 and trade back into the first round to grab Jalen Milroe as a quarterback project, how will you feel about the work Andrew Berry and company did?
Yeah, I think that that's a phenomenal way to come out of this draft. And I know that the Jalen Milroe part of that, some Browns fans might not seem super excited, but the fact that you come out of this draft with the rarest draft prospects we have ever seen, you can't ask for a better result than that. you have the opportunity that even if Travis Hunter only plays one side of the football, either a guy that can go on to become one of the best receivers in the NFL or one of the best cornerbacks in the NFL. He is one of those players, Bo Jackson-esque in a way of just natural. You put him onto the field, he is going to find ways to succeed. He is going to find ways to produce. That type of not only impact on the field, but also the attention nationally that the Browns are going to get for Travis Hunter, that type of an impact is something that I think the Browns need. And if you come back around and you trade back in and you get Jalen Milroe, I think that gives you a nice pathway for figuring out the quarterback position for the next couple of years. At the very least, you are getting an uber athletic guy who has a strong arm, who is incredibly fast. He's elusive, that you can develop into a sub-package player that ends up just being a really important part of your offense. And if he pans out and he develops in the next 3 years, he could be your starting quarterback. And we could get those highlight level plays that he produced at Alabama that helped them get to the Rose Bowl a couple of years ago and helped them be one of the better teams in the SEC this past year. I think if those were both the selections, that would be an ideal circumstance for a team that just needs to get big-time playmakers, and both those guys have the potential to be big-time playmakers.
Joe, forgetting about need, just player to player, do you feel who's more worthy of being a top 10 pick, Ashton Genty or Shedeur Sanders?
I think Ashton Genty is, in removing positional value for a second here of like what either guy is going to do for a team. Ashton Genty is one of the few running backs that we talk about in the last 10 years that every single time he touches the football, he could be scoring a touchdown. He is that much of a home run threat. He is that dynamic. He creates for himself when things break down. The offensive line in front of him at Boise State was okay, but we saw in the Penn State game, even when he didn't have very much room to run and they were doing everything possible to slow him down, he was still able to create for himself. He was still able to evade and find secondary rushing lanes. I think the one thing, though, because he's a running back that affects this a little bit, is that he needs to go to a situation with a creative offensive coordinator, and he needs to go to a situation with a team that has a decent offensive line and a quality roster. Shedeur Sanders, the reason why I would pick Genty over Shedeur is that I think Shedeur needs the supporting cast around him. He needs to have a good O-line. He needs to have good receivers. He needs to have a good defense supporting him. He needs to have everything going well in order for him to reach his potential. But I think Genty, for a team that's scratching the surface of playoff competition, he could be a guy that takes a team completely over the top and really vaults them into the upper category of teams in the NFL as they continue to provide him with opportunities to make big plays.
One of the guys that we watched a lot until we didn't, unfortunately, due to an injury this year was Josh Simmons. And, Joe, it seems like there's mixed vibes and feelings out there from people that are in the mix like you and some of the people that are, connected to NFL teams as to where Josh Simmons will go, whether it's medical stuff, whether it's other stuff to his dedication to the game, whatever it may be. What's your feel on Josh Simmons? Is he a lock for you as a first-round offensive tackle tonight?
Yeah, he absolutely is for two reasons. One, the film that he put together for the short period of time that he had when he was starting for Ohio State this year is so fluid. Best anchor of any of the offensive linemen in the class. And I think with a lot of different guys that there's questions on if they're going to stay at tackle or not. Kelvin Banks, Armand Membu, Will Campbell, if they're going to bump inside the guard. Josh Simmons is the one de facto player that I know is going to stick at tackle and is going to be a really good one. So easy moving. He's got a really strong upper body that helps him in pass protection. He is just going to be a cornerstone for a team. And the other part about this, well, I think it's a lock for him to go in the first round. I'm hearing today that there is a strong push for there to be a long run of offensive linemen in the first round. There could be guys that we haven't even really been talking about that much go a lot earlier than expected, like Josh Connerly from Oregon, like Ariante Ursary from Minnesota, because this offensive line class is not very good. And I think because of teams needing to address O-line, a guy like Josh Simmons is going to get bolted up. Kelvin Banks is a player to pay attention to today that I think is going to get drafted maybe even in the top 10. And if he goes in the top 10, Josh Simmons is going to be one of the next guys that is going to go within the top 20 picks.
Good stuff with our friend Joe DeLeon, A to Z Sports, covering the NFL and the NFL draft. Thanks, my man. Enjoy it. We appreciate you.
Of course. Thanks for having me.
Thanks, Joe. I think he's right. I think that's kind of why I had Josh Simmons getting drafted by the Chiefs at 31 and getting back in there despite whatever may be out there. He mentioned Cornley. I could see him going to Houston in the top 25 as an offensive tackle from Oregon. There are guys he mentioned, Calvin Banks Jr., Membo he didn't even mention. Will Campbell he did. He'll probably go he might even go to the Patriots at 4.
Absolutely.
So Zabel might go to the Chargers. There's
a lot of what I've been hearing, AR, I'm sure you're seeing the same things, is this may not be the sexiest draft when it comes to like wide receivers and quarterbacks, but where it's really good is guys down in the trenches, right? Whether it's pass rushers, defensive tackles with the guys from Michigan, Walter Nolan from Ole Miss. Just feels like there's a lot of teams that are going to have the opportunity starting tonight to really get the line of scrimmage together. You just laid out all the offensive linemen. There's a bunch of D linemen, a lot of people.
Booker.
And so, down there in the trenches, man, I think teams can get good pretty quickly for over the next 48 to 72 hours. No doubt.
I'd love to see my Vikes grab Donovan Jackson at 24. It'd be a great thing for them. Yeah. Protect JJ if you're leaning into that. All right. Let's give out some Reds tickets. Which game is this?
We got May 1st in Cincinnati. They're hosting the St. Louis Cardinals. Now, keep in mind that you can always get your tickets at reds.com/tickets. And you got to have the MLB Ballpark app. Okay, that's the way to get in. You download that app. The tickets are going to be sent to you through that. I've done it before. It may be foreign to you, whatever, but you download the app and it figures itself out. It's not that hard to use. But you got to have that app. That's how it's going to be through. And May 1st, Cincinnati at home against St. Louis.
Okay. Well, first of all, there's many things you've done that we haven't. That's number one. Number two, the question is going to be, we were referring to how do Maddie and I say you should refer to this profession? Not by first name, but by occupation. If you name any of the 3 we were talking about, you're good to go. 821-9710. You tell the loose cannon, he'll send you those ticks. We're back with a Buckeye Bulletin. Urban predicting the Buckeye season. You'll hear it next. Rothman and Ice and the Fan.
If you consider yourself a Buckeye fan, you've come to the right place. This is your heritage sports talker and home of Ohio State Athletics, the Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
Did you know even the smallest increase in mortgage rates can cost you thousands of dollars over the life of your loan? Hi, I'm Mark Stefanski, Chairman and CEO of Third Federal. It's true, even a 0.25% change in rate can cost you thousands of dollars over the life of your mortgage. But with Third Federal's new Early Rate Lock, you don't have to take chances. Early Rate Lock is the only pre-approval that locks in your rate at pre-approval, even before you find a house. Plus, we're so confident that our rates are the lowest, if you find a lower rate, we'll beat it or give you $1,000. And now through April 30th, get pre-approved with Third Federal and we'll pay all of your closing costs. So don't wait. Call Third Federal today.
Right now at Third Federal, even before you find a home, lock in 6.625%, APR 6.685% on a 30-year fixed-rate purchase mortgage. Visit thirdfederal.com or call 1-800-THIRD-FED today. APR reflects 15% down for $350,000 loan amount. Rate requires automatic payment program and is subject to change. Restrictions apply. Zero closing costs on low-cost loans only. See conditions for lowest rate guarantee at thirdfederal.com. Equal housing lender.
Attention kingdom-seeking business professionals, entrepreneurs, and investors in Columbus. Are you ready to experience a life-changing event that will elevate your faith, finances, and future in 2025? Then you won't want to miss this. Join us for Life Search, featuring champions of faith, Saturday, May 10th at the Schottenstein Center for an extraordinary one-day event that will empower you to transform every area of your life through the power of faith. Prepare to be inspired by an incredible lineup of champions, including college football champions Jeremiah Smith and Caleb Downs, 3-time national champion head coach Urban Meyer, sportscaster Kirk Herbstreit, 2-time national football champion Tim Tebow, and more. These champions have experienced firsthand how faith transforms lives, and they'll be joining Life Search to share their powerful stories and insights on how to integrate faith into your business, finances, and every aspect of your journey. Seats are selling fast to this unforgettable event, so don't wait. Head to lifesearch.com now to secure your tickets before they're gone. Life Search featuring champions of faith, Saturday, May 10th at the Schottenstein Center. Don't miss out. Your transformation begins here. Visit lifesearch.com today.
Hey, Ohio. Prime Sports has arrived, the only book where you can lay 108 instead of 110 on all your favorite teams. Football, baseball, basketball, and hockey. Why would you risk more to win the same amount at another sports book? Download the Prime Sports Ohio app or visit our website, primesportsbook.com. Get a welcome bonus to match your initial deposit up to $400 in bonus bets. And be a member of the Prime Sports family.
Terms and conditions apply. Visit website for details. Must be 21 and present in Ohio. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Newman Roofing, as part of their 2025 Commitment to Community initiative, is proud to partner with 10TV and The Fan to launch Raise the Roof, honoring local heroes who are going above and beyond in their communities. Newman Roofing wants to recognize the volunteers, educators, first responders, and everyday difference makers who are making a meaningful impact in their towns to be recognized on 10TV and The Fan. Stay tuned as we begin announcing the selected honorees who truly embody the spirit of Newman Roofing's commitment to community.
It's time for the draft, friends. Join the Fan live from the ESPN Bet Sportsbook at Hollywood Casino. All the fun starts Thursday at 7. First round at 8. Scotty Vegas passes out at 9. Be there. The Fan.
The sports calendar is heating up, and with ESPN Bet Sportsbook, you can go from checking news and stats to placing bets in just a couple of taps. Stream games, bet live, and get exclusive offers when you link your ESPN account. Right now, you can get $100 in bonus bets when you make your first $10 wager. Download the ESPN Bet app and sign up with promo code JOEQ to get started today. That's JOEQ, JOEQ. Must be 21 plus. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Terms and conditions apply. See app for details. Offer not available in New York.
Quarterback Jordan Love isn't just on Green Bay's team. He's also on the American Family Insurance team. Because like us, he believes in dreaming fearlessly.
Just chase your dreams and don't let nobody hold you back.
And we help protect those dreams with the right coverage so you can
dream fearlessly.
American Family Insurance. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Products not available in every state. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI, and its operating company, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
All your favorite fan shows are available when you want them.
Head to 971thefan.com and hit that subscribe button.
The Fan, Ohio sports destination. Rothman and Ice present Buckeye Bulletin.
Sponsored by Logan AC and Heat Services. Don't go through another air conditioner breakdown. For fast, friendly service, call the experts at Logan Services now for a free estimate and next day air installation.
All right, Buckeye Bulletin time. Who had the correct answer?
Well, we did our homework today, and it was Andy in Columbus, and you got the one that I actually forgot and had to ask you. So the three options for the titles that we discussed earlier were coach, doctor, and then he said president.
He did.
So Andy in Columbus got it.
Shout out to you, Andy. Thanks for listening.
And you know what?
Well done.
First caller.
Hey.
Was listening earlier, knew what was going on, didn't make something up on the fly just to try to win a prize.
Good stuff.
Andy's on it.
Congrats to you, Andy. Enjoy the game.
Well done, Andy. Coach Reed, thanks for calling. All right, Buckeye Bulletin. And Urban Meyer was on, I believe, his podcast. Is that what this is from? And it's weird because he was predicting Ohio State's season this year. And, you know, we all know they have tough games. The opener against Texas. They'll go to Madison. You get Penn State at home. Michigan on the road. And when you hear the record, like, I almost thought this was, it needed the follow-up of, like, which ones. But let's hear what he had to say.
Vegas is right on the mark here. I mean, that's 10.5. And I think they'll win 10 games. And remember, the standard's been set by the Wolverines' leadership, an old team, a team full of seniors. Penn State's trying to do that this year with the back, tailbacks coming back and Aller coming back. So I got them at 10 wins. I think they're, they've recruited at a whole different level than anyone else in college football, I think, in the last 15, 20 years. Well, I thought we always recruited good. Man, I see these rosters, my gosh. And what they've done, and they had a good spring game. They love the quarterback saying that the Alabama transfer. You have two new coordinators, Matt Patricia, which that's going to be the biggest change because I think Brian Hartline is just going to keep going along with the Chip Kelly, Ohio State, Ryan Day offense. So I got him at 10.
So here's the follow-up. Which two? Which two are they losing?
I wouldn't be shocked if he leaned towards the opener. New quarterback.
It's funny, he didn't draw that one out. I think he was more leaning to Penn State, even though that game's here.
Yeah, maybe, and that's realistic. There's no doubt. For me, my mind too went to the opener right out of the gate. You got a quarterback in Arch Manning and a heck of a coach in Steve Sarkisian that is recruited at a high level. You're going to be asking a defense to adjust to a new coordinator. Players that haven't played a ton are now going to be asked to play a high level of snaps. And right out of the gate, you just never know what you're going to get. But more importantly, at quarterback, what does that look like for Julian Sayin, Lincoln Kienholz, whoever that's going to be? So for me, there's no doubt that's one of them. The Penn State game you identified absolutely is in the mix. We've learned with that Michigan game, especially after last year, that for sure is a coin flip or can be a coin flip year in and year out. And I'll tell you the one that's sneaky. It's that Illinois game.
Illinois not bad, Maddie.
On the road. They won 10 games last year.
Oh, windy champagne.
Their whole offensive line is coming back, and their starting quarterback is coming back as well. So don't sleep on Illinois. That game, I believe, the week before Wisconsin could be a bit of a tough one for the old Scarlet and Gray. So there's definitely some speed bumps up and down this schedule. And whenever you lose all the talent that they just lost, that coach was just talking about. See what I
but
did
he
there,
said
baby
they
Chuck?
recruited at an amazing rate.
See what I did there?
He gave him the compliment of like they're the best roster.
He did, but they're still new.
Yeah.
And so you got to go out there and do the job. What I don't think will happen is what we saw from Michigan, where they won the Natty, lost a whole bunch of guys. They just didn't have anything good at quarterback. Ohio State's going to have that more talent on offense than what Michigan had a year ago. So that floor is going to be safe. But for me, AR, Texas at Illinois, home against Penn State, and on the road up there in Ann Arbor, for me, could be games that we talked about could be challenges for Ohio State.
He's right in two areas. That the favorite in Vegas is the under 10.5. That's factually correct. I would love for somebody on that podcast to say to him, okay, which two? Because you know he's not saying Michigan. He's not saying it. Even if he believes it, he's not saying it. He's leaning towards, I agree with you.
Penn State and Texas.
Penn State and Texas. Two games, ironically, that are here. Now, there's a sneaky. He thinks Wisconsin might be sneaky. You mentioned Illinois. There's nothing really in the non-conference outside of Texas. So maybe first time new quarterback on the road at Washington or something,
Yeah.
all the way across the country on the road. There's no real look ahead because even after Wisconsin, you're getting your bye week.
Yep.
So you get a bye week going into Penn State. You'll have 2 weeks to prepare for that. I think they do as well. And I just would love to hear that because it's really not anything monumental to say I think the Buckeyes are going 10-2. That sounds fine, right? Okay, same as this year. Going to lose 2 games, get in the playoff, make some noise, maybe get a chance to be the best team in the land again. Where you really want to dig into this is which two, because then you'd get a real feeling from him on whether he's nervous about Michigan.
And there was another thing that you brought up the first time we listened to that in the pre-show, where you pointed out, I'm surprised you didn't bring it up now, that he only mentioned Julian Sayin. He goes, they love Sayin. He didn't say a word about Lincoln Kienholz.
Right.
So if you think that Urban is talking to Ryan Day at all about what's going on, may have been a Freudian slip.
He said they love him. It follows.
But he didn't mention the other guy.
And it follows a lot of what we've heard from guys that were in the program last year, too. Will Howard, Denzel Burke. They've all kind of leaned that way. So, yeah, in-house, there definitely seems to be a vibe that Julian is the guy right now. There's no doubt.
All right, there's your Buckeye Bulletin.
Fellas, if you want to be the guy for yourself, for your lady, for your lover, whoever that may be, you need to get on over to the Columbus Men's Clinic, because I hear from guys all the time and I hear the same thing over and over. I'm tired. I've been dragging, Matty Ice. Well, here's the thing. Doesn't have to be that way. That's why I want to tell you about the Columbus Men's Clinic, because, guys, they've done their homework and they're ready for you. Real science, real treatments, no gimmicks, no online quick fixes, and they just leave you frustrated. You're going to be a happy camper. Online pills are way too expensive and generic to just not work. At the Columbus Men's Clinic, their medical providers build a plan around you, your body, your goals, and what it takes to get you back back to feeling like yourself again. Testosterone ED treatments, stuff most guys don't even know exist, and trust me, it works. Call 614-300-7400 or visit columbusmensclinic.com. Your consultation, including blood work, is just $99, and they will find a plan that works with your budget. Don't procrastinate on this. Call them right now and get it done. Again, it's 614-300-7400 or visit columbusmensclinic.com.
Final hour coming up after a Sports Center update, and we predict the first 10. We'll do it next. Rothman and Ice on the Fan.
Buckeye games have been airing on WBNS since before you were born and before your parents were born and before Abraham Lincoln was born. Trust me. Your home of the Buckeyes, the Fan.
Master Grillers Unite. The grilling season never ends at Billiards Plus. Come see their best-in-class grills for yourself and check out Central Ohio's largest selection of pool tables, game furniture, and shuffleboard. Family-owned and operated. Billiards Plus on Dublin Center Drive in Dublin.
I think one of the things that patients don't realize is that when they get a joint replacement, that's not a lifetime treatment option. And they're probably, if they are a younger patient, signing up for multiple surgeries down the road.
As a physician and medical director for QC Kinetics, Dr. Caravelli's seen a pattern of trending joint pain. Prolonged medication, steroids, then surgery, possibly another surgery.
So a lot of our patients are trying to avoid or put off surgery, and this is the treatment that can help them do that.
QC Kinetics extracts your body's healing substances, concentrates them back into your aching joints to help heal and restore those areas, providing lasting relief.
Oh, I love being able to tell my patients, before we do this surgery, let's try another option. Let's see if this is right for you, because now they might not have to have surgery at all.
Call today for your free consultation.
Call QC Kinetics, 380-208-4544. That's 380-208-4544. 380-208-4544.
Hey, it's Anthony. Of course, I sit and do the show 3 hours a day. But after that, I'm looking to get things done and enjoy the spring weather. So I want to be on my feet a lot, playing golf, working out, just moving around. I was introduced to the Good Feet store because my feet were aching way too often. And what I found there is a 3-step custom arch support system that has me feeling awesome. My personally fit arch supports have helped realign my feet, reposition my body into a more ideal position, and not only that, strengthen my feet to help support me. It's made all the difference in how I feel every day. The Good Feet store is going to help you where you need relief and find the arch supports that work best for you. And when you wear them as a system, their arch supports are more effective at long-term pain reduction and elimination. So go in, take the free test walk. Good Feet arch supports are immediately available. Their products are proudly made in the USA. They're on Polaris Parkway and on Stringtown Road in Grove City or at goodfeet.com.
Jim Jeffries.
1971. The patent office got a patent for a suitcase with wheels on it.
Son of a carpenter tour.
We went to the moon in the 60s.
Saturday, April 26th at Mershon Auditorium. Tickets available at Ticketmaster.com.
If you're 55 and up, T-Mobile has plans built just for you. 2 lines of unlimited for just $30 a line. That's a 45% savings compared to Verizon and AT&T. But don't just take our word for it.
It's not just the savings that are great with our T-Mobile plan. There's all this value from all these other things that T-Mobile offers. T-Mobile has been such a savings for us.
We love it. Switch today and get 2 free 5G phones like the Motorola Edge with Turbo Power charging that gives you power for the day in just 15 minutes. And customers 55 and up can get 2 lines of talk, text, and data for only $30 a line. Go to T-Mobile.com/55 to learn more. With 24 monthly bill credits and 2 new lines with autopay for well-qualified customers plus taxes, fees, and $35 per line connection charge. Credits end and balance due if you pay off early or cancel. Contact us plus $5 per line without autopay. Debit or bank account required. 45% off 2 lines versus AT&T Starter and Verizon Welcome. Plan benefits vary. See details at T-Mobile.com. Motorola Edge requires 68-watt charger. Charger sold separately. Actual performance will vary based on usage and configuration.
Spring into a new vehicle at Crown Automotive Group of Dublin. Luxury, power, and adventure, all waiting for you. Explore our vast selection of exquisite Mercedes-Benz, the all-new rugged Ineos Grenadier, and the powerful lineup of Chrysler, Jeep, Dodge, and Ram vehicles. Crown Automotive Group in Dublin is proud to be the only dealership in Columbus awarded a J.D. Power Dealer of Excellence Award for the customer sales experience. Visit Crown Automotive Group of Dublin on Perimeter Drive in Dublin or online at crowncarsdublin.com. Crown Automotive Group, the better way to buy.
Texting enrolls you into recurring automated text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
Hey, Dan, how you doing? Haven't seen you around the gym for a while.
Yeah, I've really fallen off. Since I turned 40, I just don't get the results I used to get.
Could be lower testosterone.
Lower T?
Yeah, I went through it a while back. Once you hit 40, your body has less free testosterone. I got Nugenix Total T, and it's made a huge difference for me.
I've seen that ad on TV. Is it for real?
Oh, yeah. The key ingredient is something called Tesnor, which helps boost free and total testosterone levels to help you trim up and stay lean.
And it's made a difference for you?
Man, I feel like I'm in my 20s again, at work, in the gym, and in the bedroom.
Are they still giving out complimentary bottles for people to try it for themselves?
Yeah, you just need to send them a text.
Text Kettle to 321-321 right now for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T, the #1 selling testosterone booster at GNC. Plus, text now and we'll include a bottle of Nugenix Thermo, our most powerful fat incinerator ever, to help you get back into shape fast. Absolutely free. Text KETTLE to 321-321. That's Kettle to 321-321.
Broadcasting from the Lindsay Honda Studios.
Honda makes the cars. Lindsay makes the difference. Visit lindsayhonda.com.
WBNS-FM, HD1 Columbus. The Fan. Sports Center.
Good afternoon. I'm Ryan Baker. The first round of the NFL draft is tonight. The Titans have the #1 pick, followed by the Browns at 2. The Bengals will pick at 17. A couple of Buckeyes hoping to hear their names called tonight as well. We'll have you covered right here on The Fan. Scotty Vegas and Dave Biddle hosting an NFL draft preview show at Hollywood Casino from 7 to 8. Then official draft coverage gets underway at 8. 3 games in the NBA playoffs tonight. The Pistons hosting the Knicks at 7. Oklahoma City is in Memphis at 9:30, and at 10, the Clippers host the Nuggets. NHL playoffs, Florida heads to Tampa at 6:30. Toronto is in Ottawa at 7. At 9, Minnesota hosts Vegas, and Winnipeg heads to St. Louis at 9:30. This one's sponsored by BMI Federal Credit Union. Enjoy rates lower than the national average, plus a special rate on balance transfers with a Visa Platinum or Visa with Rewards credit card.
Most shows just skim the surface, but Rothman and Ice feel like the biggest story of the day deserves a closer look. It's time for a deeper dive.
Sponsored by Low T Center. Low T Center, reinventing men's healthcare.
All right, back at it. Final hour of the program. Gold Jacket Thursday, bottom of the hour. Steve Atwater, the hard-hitting safety from Broncos country. He's at the Pro Football Hall of Fame this weekend, so we'll talk to him. We got the draft tonight. Maddie, you say what, 8 o'clock? Is that what we're looking at?
8 o'clock, this thing will get going. I'm sure we'll get the first pick right around 8:10-ish because the Titans are going to waste all of our time and use the clock. And it's one of the most annoying things I think that we have in the draft, especially when they're in their position. Like, just draft Cam Ward. Let's get the Browns on the clock, and let's get it rolling.
I'm not denying I wouldn't like that to happen, but here's my theory on why it doesn't happen and why it shouldn't happen. If I own the team, if I own the Tennessee Titans, and I own the first pick, and I get 10 minutes of free branding with my logo and everyone talking about my team and my colors and my fan base and everybody there in Green Bay, they're going to zero in on Titan fans. Why would I want that to just be 60 seconds?
What's the benefit? This isn't Shark Tank. You're not a business that needs to get off the ground. You're a part of the NFL.
I know, and I want my logo and people talking about my team for 10 minutes.
They're going to talk about it for the 5 minutes after that and for the remainder of time because you drafted a guy 1-1 overall. Like that's you're going to have plenty of talk.
I'm just going to take it. I'm going to take the time. I'm going to take maybe some kid hops on Fanatics because he likes my jersey now. I don't know. I just want it up there. Why move to the orange?
Struggling for money.
Why move to the orange and fudge right away?
These teams are struggling for money in the NFL.
Well, last time I checked, they still like money, and as much as they can get of it.
Oh man!
All right, so let's start our little top 10 run here. Right then. All right, so this is we're going to be mutual on this, right?
We're going to be mutual in the first 3.
Yeah, this is going to be as clear as day. Oh, wow.
That's good for the soul right there. When you hear that, that is just good for the soul.
All right.
First 3 picks, we're going to have the same.
They got a first-year GM, right? in Tennessee.
Yeah.
And so there's 0% chance they're trading out of the pick. They're staying put. They're going with a quarterback, 6'2", 220, out of the U. Kid who's got a really high ceiling, started to take care of the ball better, great arm talent, he has escapability over Shedeur Sanders. Will Levis, sorry, even if that shoulder is healed up, this is going to be the man. It's going to be Cam Ward.
Yeah, glad you got your Mayo Man endorsement while it lasted, because that's a wrap. By the way, they they signed another weapon in Tennessee, Tyler Lockett, now a Tennessee Titan, which
that's right.
is another breadcrumb to follow that they're trying to help out their youngster. Yeah, it's Cam Ward. It's a lock. Brian Callahan was with Cincinnati a couple years ago as their offensive coordinator. He's been there in Tennessee. He's looking for his guy. They need it, and so Cam Ward will be the pick. The draft starts at 2.
Well, I guess it does start at 2. I don't believe that. Now, every Browns fan listening is probably saying, hey, don't put it past them. Be a very Browns thing to do, to not do what everybody says they should do. But I think Travis Hunter is about a 98.6 temperature up there. I feel like he's considered the best player in the draft. He can play both ways at times, and they need the offensive help. They rank dead last in the league in offensive scoring. Maddie talked about it earlier. Third down conversions, just dreck. Pure trash. And I think you need him, and they'll take him.
Not only
they'll love him.
Do you get, I wish Cam Ward was going to Cleveland so we could really wear that clip out. Not only do you get what you talked about with Travis Hunter as a playmaker, it's also the draw. He's a name that you put on the marquee if you're the NFL. Because now when you're the Browns, you're going to have one or two more nationally televised games because you're going to have, quote, the Shohei Ohtani.
The face of the league.
Seriously, though, but that's good for business. It's good for business. You're Jimmy and D has them. This is the stuff
you told me it wasn't about business. It was about just football.
I'm talking about the stuff where you're wasting time with the draft pick, wasting everybody's time. But when it comes to Travis Hunter, you're moving merch. You're getting eyeballs for nationally televised games. And so you draft this guy, and it's bigger than football. So I'm with you. Travis Hunter should be the pick for the Browns. At 3, I'm going to Abdul Carter.
But you're okay with the Browns taking the 10 minutes?
No.
Oh, okay.
No team. Especially so after when we get to this point, like you're the top 3 team, you know who you're taking.
So we should be able to do this tonight in an hour, is what you're saying.
That'd be nice. This thing's not going to end until probably what, 11:30?
Later.
It's going to be a grind. So yeah, I'm with you. Cam Ward to Tennessee. Cleveland's going to draft Travis Hunter at 2, and I think at 3. The Giants are going to try to recreate what Tom Coughlin created when he was the head coach of the New York Giants, and they went on to win a Super Bowl, which is a game-wrecking, earth-shattering defensive line and just roll waves of bodies. And not only that, the same way I talk about the Browns with Jalen Milroe and how they look at Lamar and see that they want that, the New York Giants just watched the Philadelphia Eagles win the Super Bowl with the exact same thing that we're talking about, a defensive line that just dominated and whooped you up front. So I think Abdul Carter's the pick at 3.
Yeah, I mean, listen, they dominated in several areas. Offensive line, defensive line, very good quarterback and weapons, and obviously a multi-purpose running back. So they do have it all in Philly. This is one of those where you're not picking need, and the need just doesn't match up with the hype of the quarterbacks. Like, there's a quarterback they're in love with, fine, I get it. They're not picking him at 3. I think there'd be a heavy reach here from the sounds of it, and you take the most impactful player, and you take Abdul Carter. He's double-digit sacks written all over him when he gets in the league. 4 is the Patriots. Tricky. They have a need at left tackle, and Will Campbell, who Dave Lapham said would love to fall all the way to the Bengals at 17. I don't see that happening. I guess there's a little bit of concern with the short arms. I did read that.
Mm-hmm. But you don't want those pass rushers getting to your chest.
But it's
a real thing.
You got to protect Drake May.
Yeah.
Are you in agreement we're going to go Will Campbell here at 4?
Especially after you went out and you spent money on Stephon Diggs, right? You get a veteran playmaker already in-house.
Stephon Diggs.
There's not a wide receiver you want to draft this high, in my opinion. So I'm going to go – you guys are insane. I'm going to go Will Campbell.
All right, good.
I think we're going to have the same picks.
I think this is
where it gets.
Well, this is where.
Because I know who you like, and you've been questioning why this guy has been a bit of a quote slider in the minds of some with Shedeur. I think that's where you're going to go.
You know who my dad is?
Prime time.
I would think that the Jags would take Mason Graham.
It's your guy. You love him.
I mean, he can He can wreck some offensive lines.
Yeah, he can.
I think this is the curveball. Now, what I've heard, and you guys can tell me if you think this is possible, is that it sounds like the Chicago Bears are in talks with the Jags about moving to 5 to take Genty.
Okay.
Good decision. Ryan Poles, buckle up.
Here's why I wouldn't be mad at that for the Bears. Here's why.
Ben Johnson.
Not only that, but they've invested so much in their offensive line that makes the pick look better to me and feel better. But more importantly, he would be productive behind what I think is going to be a dominant offensive line. And so our brains have been trained over the last few years. Hey, stay away from the running backs in the first round. Don't dare pick them high up in the first round. But I think when you've done what the Bears have done down in the trenches, I wouldn't mind it at all. I really wouldn't.
He also has drafted running backs high. He did in Detroit. It worked. He's not a big DeAndre Swift guy, even though, I think Ashton Genty is a baller. There's no question about it. I wouldn't have the guts to do it, but I think Ben Johnson, I think this fits. And so instead of saying, I'll say that, I'd love to say the Jags just sit there and take Graham, but it feels to me like someone's going to trade with them.
So
and
you're cooking up a trade in your own mock draft. I love it.
Yeah, Bears to 5.
Okay, I think the Jags are going to stick and pick.
Okay.
And take Ashton Genty because they got a new offensive-minded coach in there with Liam Cohen.
Trade Etienne?
No, I'll keep Etienne and trade him at some point if I have to. But, yeah, I want to get a young playmaker in that running back room to get in the backfield with Trevor Lawrence and pair with Brian Thomas.
Well, we just messed up the Raiders, which we'll do next. So now we have the 5 in the books. We'll do the next 5 next. But all we heard for a month and a half, Maddie, was Raiders Genty. Mm-hmm. And now we both have them off the board. We'll come back and do more with the value picks as well and the odds with them. Rothman and Ice in the Fan.
Brian Dayball.
If you miss a live show, you can catch the podcast. If you miss the podcast, our hosts have volunteered to have dinner with you.
Ma, the meatloaf!
The Fan.
Attention kingdom-seeking business professionals, entrepreneurs, and investors in Columbus. Are you ready to experience a life-changing event that will elevate your faith, finances, and future in 2025? Then you won't want to miss this. Join us for Life Search, featuring Champions of Faith, Saturday, May 10th at the Schottenstein Center for an extraordinary one-day event that will empower you to transform every area of your life through the power of faith. Prepare to be inspired by an incredible lineup of champions, including college football champions Jeremiah Smith and Caleb Downs, 3-time national champion head coach Urban Meyer, sportscaster Kirk Herbstreit, 2-time national football champion Tim Tebow, and more. These champions have experienced firsthand how faith transforms lives, and they'll be joining Life Search to share their powerful stories and insights on how to integrate faith into your business, finances, and every aspect of your journey. Seats are selling fast to this unforgettable event, so don't wait. Head to LifeSearch.com now to secure your tickets before they're gone. Life Search featuring Champions of Faith, Saturday, May 10th at the Schottenstein Center. Don't miss out. Your transformation begins here. Visit LifeSearch.com today.
Everybody poops, everybody pees. Mommy, will you call Mr. Rooter, please? 'Cause I gotta poop and I gotta pee. Only Mr. Rooter can clear the drain for me. Thank you, Mr. Rooter.
Hi, everybody. We call it what it is at Mr. Rooter. When you have a plumbing or drain problem, the team at Mr. Rooter is ready 7 days a week. Call us today and take advantage of our $95 drain cleaning special. Visit us at MrRooter.com. We'll be there quick.
I can't sleep.
What is it now?
It's the company. It's chaos.
What's chaos now?
The numbers, the expenses, the books. What if we get audited?
No one's going to audit you at 3 a.m. Go to sleep.
I can't sleep.
You could if you used Ramp.
Who said that?
I don't care because they're right. Go to sleep and sign up for Ramp in the morning, Jerry.
Ramp is the corporate card that handles all your tedious financial operations automatically, integrates directly with your ERP, and gives you complete control over every transaction. Ramp gives you everything you need for bulletproof books and a better night's sleep.
Wow, that is exactly what my company needs.
Yes, and exactly what I also need. Go to sleep, Jerry.
Upgrade to Ramp for free today and get $250 at ramp.com/radio. Ramp.com/radio. That's ramp.com/radio.
Cards issued by Sutton Bank, members FDIC. Terms and conditions apply.
Need inspiration? Shop Kroger for mouth-watering meals and appetizing ingredients. Our low prices add up to big savings, plus over $600 in digital coupons each week, and up to $1 off per gallon at the pump. At Kroger, you always get big flavors and big savings. Kroger, fresh for everyone. Fuel restrictions apply.
Right now, save big on 2-pound packages of fresh, delicious strawberries. They're only $3.99 each with your digital coupon. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
Bobby Carpenter is packing up morning juice and headed to YouTube. Catch Bobby and Tito on the Fan's YouTube page weekday mornings from 6 to 8.
All the fun starts on May 12th.
More Bobby, less commercials. Attack and dominate the Fan.
Help DEA keep our community safe and healthy by participating in National Prescription Drug Take-Back Day, Saturday, April 26th. Take action right in your own home by cleaning out your medicine cabinet of unneeded medications. Keep them safe, clean them out, take them back. Find a collection site near you at DEATakeback.com. Do your part to lower overdose deaths and prevent prescription drug misuse before it starts. That's DEATakeback.com.
Hello, it's John Kozik, founder and president of TurboTrack Realty. Do you want to sell your property, however, you need a little help getting through the process? Let's say you have years of belongings in the home. It needs a lot of updating, you're overwhelmed, and you may need help finding a place to go. I will help you. Visit us today at TurboTrackRealty.com or call me now for an all-cash offer and, more importantly, the help you need at 614-470-2000, 614-470-2000.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
Hey there, Central Ohio. I'm 10 Weather Impact meteorologist Michael Behrens. Pop-up showers and storms possible this afternoon of highs in the low 80s. Those rain chances end tonight as the sun goes down, low 60s. 70s Friday, mostly dry to start, but rain chances increase in the afternoon, peaking for the evening and overnight. Back to dry weather this weekend. That's your latest 10 Weather Impact forecast. I'm meteorologist Michael Behrens on 97.1 The Fan.
Bet365, the official online sports book of Rothman and Ice. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
Rothman and Ice present Pre-Snap Reads.
Sponsored by Newman Roofing. Call Newman Roofing today at 614-NEW-ROOF. That's 614-NEW-ROOF. Or visit online at newmanroofing.com.
All right, Bet365 time.
Let's do it, because at Bet365, we don't do ordinary. Bet365 is the official sports betting partner of the Cleveland Guardians. If you're a new customer, listen closely. Get on over to Bet365, because right now you get $150 in bonus bets when you bet $5 win or lose. So download the Bet365 app today.
Bengals picking 17 if they stay. Most likely defense. Most likely. And then if you really zero in on it, is it going to be an edge guy or a linebacker? Well, if you go to Bet365, you can bet on each team's first position in their first pick.
Okay.
Defensive lineman or edge is going off as the favorite for the Bengals. Maybe they take Ezeraku or...
I like the Mike Green kid from Marshall.
Yes, he'll probably go to the Falcons a couple picks earlier, but we'll see.
He's nice.
Yeah. But here's where the value is. What if they go offensive lineman? 8-1.
Okay.
Now, if there's a run on them, that's what I'm hoping, that they grab a guy they like. Or what if they go defense, but they go linebacker?
Mm-hmm.
That's going off at 15-1. There's so much more value. I'm not going to bet the Bengals taking an edge guy at minus 230. It's just not, there's not enough value. I'd rather sprinkle a little bit on O-lineman at 8-1 and linebacker at 15-1 and just have some fun with that value.
They've got a need on the interior of that offensive line. Jermaine Pratt has requested a trade in that linebacker room.
Mm-hmm.
So I see where you're headed. I do think the pick
Campbell,
will be...
the kid from Bama.
I do think the pick will be a defensive lineman at 17. Especially
probably so.
With Sam Hubbard retiring.
I know. That's the favorite.
Right. But the value, and that's what we're looking for.
Absolutely.
I see the vision there.
How about this one?
Yeah.
What if one of those quarterbacks, let's say Dart, which it doesn't sound like he will now, but let's say Dart falls to 26, and there the Rams are, and they can take the understudy to Stafford and take Dart at 26, The quarterback, the Rams taking a quarterback with their first pick is 5-1.
I like that. I like that a lot.
Because even if they don't take him, they could take Shuck. They could take...
If Tyler Shuck's a first-round pick, what are we doing?
Well, he's going to be close, maybe.
I hope not.
I think it's Dart. I think if Dart falls, I think if the Steelers take Shedeur at 21 and Dart's still there, the Rams would take him. And I think 5-1 is good value there.
I don't think it's bad value at all. Got some NBA games tonight. Playoffs rocking and rolling. Shouts to the Cavs picking up another win. They went absolutely off from 3 in the third quarter. Donovan Mitchell, 7 3-pointers yesterday, leading the Cavs with 30 points. I'm looking at the Los Angeles Clippers-Denver Nuggets matchup tonight. Give me Norman Powell. He was the second leading scorer for the Clippers throughout the regular season. I like 3 3-pointers made for him at plus 125. Again, Norman Powell for the Clippers, plus 125 juice on 3 3-pointers made. Whatever the moment, folks, it's never ordinary at Bet365. Again, download the Bet365 app today. 21 plus only, must be present in Ohio. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem and wants help, call 1-800-GAMBLER. Terms and conditions apply. Offer subject to meeting qualifying criteria.
And may the odds be ever in your favor.
You got any odds on what my Ravens are going to do?
Safety.
Is that the heavy favorite?
I'm pretty sure that is.
Malachi Starks from Georgia.
I'm going to tell you right now what you would get if you bet on him. No, I'm sorry. Defensive lineman. Edge is minus 125. If you want to bet safety, you'd actually get 6-1.
Okay.
So your defensive line, offensive line is your
which I'm here for.
Yeah. All right. Raiders are on the clock at 6. We both have Genty off the board. So I am going to go with the kid that hasn't been taken yet on the offensive line, Calvin Banks.
That makes a lot of sense. Steve Sarkisian used to work for Pete Carroll. And so that endorsement, I'm sure, from Sark to Pete Carroll was very, very good. Pete Carroll won games in the trenches in Seattle. He's an old school type of coach. They wanted to beat you up with Marshawn in that run game and throw deep bombs over the top with Mr. Unlimited. And on that defense, we know it was absolutely nasty with the LOB. So that's the style of play that Pete Carroll wants there.
Mr. Unlimited.
I would not be upset if they did go Mason Graham here and paired him with Christian Wilkins and Max Crosby. So I'm going to go with that. I'm going to go Mason Graham at 6.
I'm hoping that he drops a little further and then another team gets him here soon. So Jets are on the clock at 7.
I'm going Tyler Warren.
Ooh, I like that. I was hoping, you know what? Now that I have because I'd have the Bears taking him if they stayed at 10. I had them moving up to take the running back. So you have Tyler Warren going there.
I think they just need more on offense over there, especially now with Justin Fields
line
and Garrett Wilson there with what they have in the backfield.
He's a weapon.
I'm going to go Tyler
He's so
Warren.
good.
Yeah, give me
Line
Tyler
him up
Warren.
anywhere.
Yeah.
He's amazing. All right, I'll stick with the non-sexy and go Membu, the kid out of Missouri, because I just think that they have a massive need there. Carolina at 8. Jalen Walker. Buckish winner.
Okay.
Off ball, linebacker. I like him there. They need defense, and he's that athletic. He's from Carolina. Feels right.
I'm going to go Mykel Williams.
Okay.
Give me Mykel Williams, defensive lineman from Georgia. Edge guy, had that ankle injury, which I think took away from what he could have been last year for them Dogs. So I'm going to go Mykel Williams down there. You got rid of Brian Burns. He's now up in New York. You're looking for your pass rusher of the future, so I'm going to go with him there to Carolina.
All right. Number 9.
What I would do?
I'm going to tell you what the odds say.
You know who my dad is?
That's who I'm picking. That's what I would do. I would take him at 9. They're not going to do it, but I would take Shedeur.
Let me see. They're not even on the board anymore.
Not.
Wait a minute. I took a screenshot of this morning because I did bet on it because I had to take the value.
Get them receipts out, AR.
Let me get them out. All right, here we go. Eagles, Rams, Pittsburgh.
Can I get another you know who my dad is while we're waiting? I didn't know you had that on.
You know who my dad is?
I can't find it.
And just because we missed it.
Aaron Glenn. Aaron Glenn. All right. I've dropped Mason Graham in my mock. So I'm going to take the value on Shedeur, whatever it may be.
Yeah.
But I'm going to take, because I know Kellen Moore is going to want to go offense with that pick. But since I dropped Mason Graham, I'm going to have him go now.
Okay.
I'll have him go 9 to the Saints.
To Nolans?
Yeah.
I'm not mad at it. At 10 for me is the Chicago Bears because you had a trade.
Yeah.
I didn't. I'm going to drop Colston Loveland into Chicago. Just continue to build around Caleb Williams. So
smart pick.
Tight end that helps out Caleb Williams. Give me him going to the Bears.
That's a smart pick.
Thank you,
because
sir.
you already had Tyler Warren off the board.
Yeah.
So it makes sense. And if the Bears stay there, I think they actually take Tyler Warren.
Okay.
The Bears stay at 10. They'll take him.
Okay.
Because Ben Johnson needs his Sam Laporta.
Oh, yeah.
And that's who that is. So
Jackson Dart is creeping up there as the betting favorite to go 9. It's Mykel Williams.
Why do you think I bet quarterback at 9? It doesn't matter which one.
What are you seeing over there, Loose Cannon?
I got Mykel Williams plus 240, Jackson Dart behind him at plus 350.
Okay.
That's pretty awesome.
Okay.
All right, so that's it. I guess if the Jags drop back to 10, I would just have them taking, trying to think who the best player on the board would be.
McShay said that if the Jaguars stay at 5, if they stay at 5, it's between Genty and Ted McMillan. So if Genty's already off the board and you have them
the
trading
receiver,
down, yes, out of Arizona.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So give me T-Mac then.
Who Instagram commenters are not a fan of.
Why not?
Because his routes aren't very good and he's kind of just a big dude.
The old route tree.
Some people see Mike Evans. Some people see what you just mentioned. Just a big dude that won't be able to separate.
Des Bryant, the older years.
Yeah, correct. And when he's with us in Baltimore, those were good times. Hey, I wanted to read you this quote real quick before we get to Gold Jacket Thursday. This is from Mike Tomlin when it comes to Shedeur. He said, I think the things that stood out were evident in his video talking about the meeting with Shedeur when he was there. He said there's a toughness there that doesn't get talked about enough. There's a competitive spirit there that doesn't get talked about enough. I know he's very talented, and he's made a lot of plays for his university and his team, but the intangible qualities displayed on tape were impressive to me. So that's just Mike Tomlin on record talking about Shedeur. My gut is telling me, AR, that if he's on the board at 21,
they're taking him.
I think they're going to take him because I think Mike Tomlin likes him as a quarterback and wouldn't. And Mike Tomlin to me is that coach that's built to handle that type of quote noise. And I hate even using that because I think that's not right when it comes to Shedeur. But I think Mike Tomlin could be the guy that can handle that.
100%. He's one of the unfirables we talked about the other day. That if there's noise around it of bringing Dion into coach's dad, the Tomlin won't be the guy that would be easily pushed aside.
He won't fold.
All right, let's give out 2 passes to go to the Pro Football Hall of Fame. We're going to do that now, 821-9710. If you don't win them, you can also register at 971thefan.com/goldjacket. And our grand prize winner is going to get 2 tickets to the Hall of Fame game, which is Lions Chargers.
July 31st.
Enshrinement ceremony presented by Novartis and the Hall of Fame Museum. So you'd win the big prize even if you don't win the passes today to go to the Pro Football Hall of Fame. Maddie, question, or you want to make it a quick caller?
Let's make it a quick caller. Let's go.
27, Atwater's number.
I was going to say, we're going to be talking a lot about Browns on the clock at 2. Let's go second caller. Second caller.
Done.
Browns will. Oh, the phone line's already lighting up.
I wanted him to have to answer 27 calls in honor of Steve Atwater, who will join us next in 2 minutes. Rothman and Ice on the Fan.
Care Heating and Cooling. When you need a company you can trust, call 1-800-COOLING.
Thinking about buying your first home? Now, with Third Federal, you can buy your first home and pay no PMI. Hi, I'm Mark Stefanski, Chairman and CEO of Third Federal. Private mortgage insurance, or PMI, can cost thousands of dollars over the life of your loan. And you may not realize PMI doesn't protect you. It only protects the lender in case of default. But at Third Federal, you can buy a home with just 5% down and no PMI. Plus, first-time home buyers get $750 off a closing cost So if you're thinking about buying your first home, go for it and visit thirdfederal.com.
Even before you find a home, lock in 6.625%, APR 6.685% on a 30-year fixed-rate purchase mortgage. Visit thirdfederal.com or call 1-800-3rd-FED today. APR reflects 15% down for $350,000 loan amount. Rate requires automatic payment program and is subject to change. Restrictions apply. See conditions for closing cost coupon at thirdfederal.com/FTHB. Equal housing lender.
Hey, it's Leslie from Pella Columbus.
I'm Wilson from that other window place.
One of my favorite things, Wilson, is the look on people's faces when they see the end price for Pella windows.
Yeah, I'm always hearing, does it look like I'm wearing my money britches?
More like, I can't believe we get the Pella look and quality at these prices.
Oh, you went the other way with that. You're hearing good things. Oh, this is awkward.
Get the window that homeowners rated the leading window brand in Columbus at PellaColumbus.com.
Master Grillers Unite. The grilling season never ends at Billiards Plus. Come see their best-in-class grills for yourself and check out Central Ohio's largest selection of pool tables, game furniture, and shuffleboard. Family-owned and operated. Billiards Plus on Dublin Center Drive in Dublin.
Rothman and Ice is sponsored by your local Pella Window and Door showroom on Gemini Parkway. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
The perfect ratio of sports talk, dogs, pro wrestling, and gambling advice.
It's science.
You're listening to Rothman and Ice.
All right, welcome back into Rothman and Ice. Anthony Rothman, Matty Ice Hayes. It is a Gold Jacket Thursday. This man was the 20th overall pick by the Denver Broncos back in the '89 draft out of Arkansas. 11 seasons later, he had compiled 8 Pro Bowls, voted to the All-Decade Team of the '90s, the best nickname, the Smiling Assassin, and what I believe is the author of the cleanest best hit in football, the class of 2020 into Canton. He's Hall of Fame safety Steve Atwater. Steve, welcome back to Ohio.
Oh, thank you so much, man. Always a pleasure to be here. Always honored to be here.
You were too nice to be that ferocious, man. Did you like the nickname, the Smiling Assassin? What's the origin of that?
Yeah, well, my defensive backs coach, good friend, who drafted me in Denver, Charlie Waters, he made that nickname. I thought it was kind of corny. Still think it's kind of corny, but it's kind of appropriate. You know, I did like to hit, like the physicality of the game, but also, I smiled quite a bit. So it was a nice mixture there.
Steve, we've got the draft this weekend, first round tonight. I want to go back to your time and the process you remember going through to become a first-round pick. What was that day like for you? What were the days like leading up to you becoming a first-round pick coming out of Arkansas?
Yeah, well, I'll tell you, I wasn't 100% sure that I was going to be a first-round draft pick. I know some guys are. They had that confidence and, going into on draft day. But I was a little bit nervous. Also, my wife and I, my girlfriend at the time, we had our family, a lot of our family members come in and a couple of close friends. And we were sitting around kind of waiting and hoping. And finally, at the 20th pick, the Denver Broncos selected me, and man, it was one of the greatest days of my life. And didn't realize how much it would change my life, but it definitely was a blessing.
Steve Atwater with us from the Pro Football Hall of Fame in Canton. So Dan Reeves loved you. They talked about you as like a safety in a linebacker's body. Do you feel like if you would have gone to college, I don't know, maybe in this era, that you would have been a quarterback, that you would have stayed on offense, or was defense always your destiny?
Yeah, I think defense was my destiny because although I played quarterback, I also threw a nice amount of interceptions. but when I threw the interceptions, I made the tackle. So I was able to showcase my tackling ability as a quarterback.
You were an evil genius, man. You knew exactly what you were doing. That's a funny story. I know that Wade Phillips used you in a lot of situations early in your pro career. Were you just attracted, you said, to the physicality? I mentioned the great hit on Christian Okoye, the Nigerian Nightmare. If people are listening have not seen the hit, I want you to go look it up. You met him in open space, and he was used to running over people, and you stopped him in his tracks. Tell me about that hit that night. And was that a Monday night? I can't remember.
Yeah, I believe it was a Monday night game, and leading up to that game, I was playing with like one of the greatest players to play the game, Dennis Smith. He was my teammate and in safety, and he was kind of my mentor too. And we were watching film, and he's telling me, "Hey, Steve, we got to stay up high. We can't hit him in his knees. We got to stay up high and hit him." And I looked over at him like, "What are you talking about, man? That's Christian Okoye. We got to go low on him." And so, but hey, I listened to him, and he convinced me that was the right thing to do. And fortunately, it worked out. It worked out to where I was the last man standing on that play because hey, there've been many plays where I've gone in to make the tackle, and hey, the other guy got the best of me. So that's happened before too. But in that prime time moment, I was able to catch Christian, and he's a great guy. We saw each other in Hawaii, got a chance to chop it up and take some pictures together, and so I have a ton of respect for him. But yeah, fortunately on that day, on that play, I got him on that one.
Do you remember what you said after you hit him and he was on the ground?
I think I said, "You tried, baby." I don't know where that came from. That's kind of weird, but yeah, I said, "You tried, baby. You tried." something like that. When I go back and listen to it, I think that's what I think I said.
I love it, Steve. I want to go inside, those practices against Terrell Davis and some of the playmakers that were there with you in Denver. You guys won that Super Bowl against Green Bay, and you had a tremendous game in that one. But talk about Terrell Davis and going up against a guy like that in practice and maybe how that helped you as a player.
Yeah, well, fortunately, we didn't tackle each other in practice. Now, we would thud up sometimes, but, man, just his vision, his quickness, his strength, made him a huge asset for us, and I think without him, I don't know if we could have won both of those Super Bowls because it took an amazing effort by him, and also he had the headaches in the first Super Bowl where he had to come out and then go back in and come out and go back in, but he still had a great game, and that was so inspiring for us too as teammates to see his dedication to the game and his dedication to us because he was doing it for us, and he just laid it on the line. And I just have a ton of respect for him. Great. We have the same birthday. We share the same birthdays, so I'm always extremely fond of TD.
Pro Football Hall of Famer Steve Atwater, the safety in Canton this weekend. We'll tell you in moments how you can meet and greet with Steve. All-rookie team in 89, Broncos defensive MVP in 95, 90s all-decade team with us now here on a Gold Jacket Thursday. Did you ever, not struggle is the wrong word, but in live time, hitting versus tackling and knowing which one to choose? I watch a lot of NFL, we all do, and it seems like separating man from ball is still the way these defensive backs go at it. You had a lot of interceptions, 24 of them. Did you struggle with trying to find the timing of when I got to make sure I just tackle and wrap versus trying to just separate a guy from the ball?
Not really. I think after you play the game for a while, you kind of get a feel for when you can kind of go in and not necessarily wrap up versus times when you definitely have to wrap up and make sure that you get this person on the ground. And it's just like with anything, just like with you doing radio now, you're a pro at it, and you've been doing it for so long, and you do so many things that a newbie coming in, they're like, man, how did you know to say that right at that time? That's the way it was with football. After you've done it for a while, you just do it and you don't even think about it, right?
There seems to be some real optimism coming out of Denver right now when it comes to the future of the franchise because of last year's draft when they acquired Bo Nix. Your thoughts on him as a quarterback with Sean Payton and where the Broncos are headed at the moment?
Oh, man, I love Bo Nix, man. Great guy, super smart quarterback. He didn't make a lot of those same mistakes that a lot of rookies make coming in. He didn't take a lot of sacks, didn't throw a lot of interceptions, protected the ball well. He was in his playbook. He knew what was going on, and I think that's going to continue. He's just that type of guy. He's the kind of guy that who's going to get in his playbook, continue to learn. He asked a lot of questions last year, and I think this year, again, he's going to have a great second year. A lot of quarterbacks, they have a first year that's kind of lucky, but when you see the person put in the work that he's put in, I think he'll follow it up with a solid year too.
Pro Football Hall of Fame safety Steve Atwater. Super Bowl 32 against Favre and the Packers. You helped deliver the first Super Bowl win for Denver. You had the game of a lifetime. Made the great play prior, I believe, to the final defensive play. You were not on the field. Tell our listeners why.
Yeah, well, I think it was trips coverage, and I try to bait quarterbacks into throwing the ball to a particular place because they think I'm not going to be able to get there. And so I lined up a little further on the left of the field, and, I kind of took a fake step to the left, and then I hauled butt to get over there in time. And, Brett threw it right there, right where we thought it was going to go. We kind of had a good idea where the pass was going to go. And, man, I saw the pass go up, and I was like, man, I cannot let this guy catch this pass. It's so close to the end of the game, and man, if he catches this pass, then we're probably not going to win this game. So I just went in there with everything I had, and next thing you know, I had some smelling salt, and I didn't know what was going on.
You left it all in the field, man. I remember the hit. I remember how key it was. And then, obviously, you guys sealed it up on that final play. What a career. I can't wait to have the fans come and see you, meet and greet. You'll be at the Hall of Fame this weekend. As I like to say, you can't miss him. He'll be the one in the gold jacket. Saturday morning, 9:45 to 10:15, Hall of Famer at the Hall. You'll greet guests in the lobby. You'll be around for the draft day experience. Watching some of the draft and being around the draft at the Pro Football Hall of Fame is fantastic. So he'll pose for some photos with guests as they are essentially drafted by the Hall of Fame in the Museum Theater. It's going to be a fantastic weekend. Steve, I hope you soak it up, man. You deserve it, and welcome back.
Thank you so much. Yeah, I hope the fans are able to come out and have a good time with us. Yeah, we'll be just celebrating over here at the Pro Football Hall of Fame. Thank you so much.
You got it. The Smiling Assassin, Steve Atwater, famous Bronco at the Pro Football Hall of Fame this weekend, draft weekend. What a cool time to be there. All right, when we come back, a Buckeye has changed his draft plans at the last moment. We'll tell you who and why next. Rothman and Ice in the Fan.
This promo is brought to you by Common Man and Timmy Hall's Ping Pong Game. The Fan.
And the top overall pick in this year's draft is the ESPN Bet Sportsbook at Hollywood Casino Columbus. That's right, it's number one in my heart. This is Scotty Vegas, and we're hosting a special draft show and watch party starting at 7 p.m. Thursday, April 24th for the first round of the draft. Watch and place wagers on the picks with over 30 kiosks, contests, prizes, and a live show at 7 at the ESPN Bet Sportsbook. Must be 21 or older to enter. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
You pay what we pay with employee pricing at Coughlin Ford. Take over $5,500 off MSRP on a new 24 Ford Escape. Employee price $28,000. Or take over $7,000 off MSRP on new 25 F-150s and 24 F-250s. Visit CoughlinFord.com.
Coughlin has the car for you. All factory rebates to dealer. All prior sales excluded. In-stock units only. Must finance through Ford Motor Credit. Not all will qualify. No security deposit required. Residency restrictions may apply. See dealer for details. And 43025.
Let's go to the floor with some late-breaking developments on the markets. Jim?
Up things are down, down things are up.
Sounds like things
You don't understand. Right is left, lemons are sweet, spaghetti is cold, the milk is warm.
Okay, but are you seeing anything that maybe smart-minded money people should know about?
Yeah. Apex Pros.
The pros who knows?
Probably one of the most stable things you can do is an Apex Pros air conditioner tune-up.
Air conditioner tune-ups, you say?
Oh, yeah. Apex Pros knows most expensive summer breakdowns can be prevented by getting a tune-up now.
Yes, it's known that a tuned-up AC lowers energy bills, which is important to...
Oh, this is unbelievable.
What, big sell-off? Huge increase?
No, I spilled coffee on my new shirt. Anyway, tune-up save on energy bills, plus make your air conditioner last years longer.
Good to know Apex Pros keeps things stable and predictable.
That's on my pants, too. This is the worst day. This is historic. You know that.
No doubt about it. Columbus loves Apex Pros. The pros who knows. ApexPros.com.
Need inspiration? Shop Kroger for mouth-watering meals and appetizing ingredients. Our low prices add up to big savings, plus over $600 in digital coupons each week, and up to $1 off per gallon at the pump. At Kroger, you always get big flavors and big savings. Kroger, fresh for everyone. Fuel restrictions apply.
Mix and match 5 or more items for just 99 cents each with your card. Choose Campbell's Soup, Kroger brand pasta, North Sides, and more. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
Spring into a new vehicle at Crown Automotive Group of Dublin. Luxury, power, and adventure, all waiting for you. Explore our vast selection of exquisite Mercedes-Benz, the all-new rugged Ineos Grenadier, and the powerful lineup of Chrysler, Jeep, Dodge, and Ram vehicles. Crown Automotive Group in Dublin is proud to be the only dealership in Columbus awarded a J.D. Power Dealer of Excellence Award for the customer sales experience. Visit Crown Automotive Group of Dublin on Perimeter Drive in Dublin or online at crowncarsdublin.com. Crown Automotive Group, the better way to buy.
Two men. One is very white, fat, and bald. The other is not very white at all. Delightfully husky and getting bald. They have a radio show. It's good. T-Bone and Tyvis.
Weekday mornings from 6 to 9, starting May 12th.
The Fan.
Hey, living with chronic pain. It's like trying to get comfortable on a cactus sofa, walking on pins and needles. Nothing feels good. And forget trying to do the things you love and enjoy. Like the spring, it's getting warm, whether you want to golf, whether you want to hike, whether you want to bike, whether you want to play pickleball. You're just trying to get by. Hey, it's Bobby Carpenter here. I want you to know something. The medical pros at QC Kinetics right here in Columbus are on the case and focused to finally get you the relief you need. Finally, calm that debilitating joint pain in your knee just like I did. Maybe it's your hip, your shoulder, your back. Don't miss a beat, no surgery or long recovery. I'm done with getting cut on. With QC Kinetics, the science is solid. They give you your life back. A life healthier, free of harmful meds. That's the whole mission of QC Kinetics. You could be a candidate. So go to qckinetics.com/Columbus to find out how easy it is. They've got offices now in Canal and Grove City. So call 380-208-4544.
All your favorite fan shows are available when you want them.
Head to 971thefan.com and hit that subscribe button.
The Fan, Ohio sports destination. Tell the truth with Rothman and Ice.
Sponsored by Window Nation. For all your window needs, visit windownation.com.
All right, before we get to truth, this kind of came down in the last few minutes. And we have some attendees that are going to go to the draft. How many, Matty? 15 or something like that?
So originally, this thing was going to start at 17.
On site.
Correct.
All right.
In Green Bay with the cheese heads on, beer cheese flowing everywhere. Now we are down to 15 because one of the guys that is no longer attending is Kentucky cornerback Maxwell Hairston. And we just found out that the former Buckeye in Josh Simmons has changed his mind and he will not be in Green Bay either. So the list of attendees in the house is currently at 15. And so what does that mean for Josh Simmons? It could be as simple as, hey, I just didn't want to go, want to be around friends and family. Not everybody can make it out there, yada, yada, yada. Or this could be he's found out from his agent and teams that they've been talking to that his name will not be called by old Roger Goodell tonight.
But what is it, even if it didn't get called tonight, he'd still be able to walk across that stage tomorrow night?
There's no doubt, but, you know, for some guys, you want that first-round moment and give Roger Goodell the bro hug and all that stuff that we got going on now. I see all these first-round picks have the potential to pick out their own walkout song and all that stuff tonight.
That's out there. In fact, I have the list.
You want that? Oh, do you really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
I mean, I don't know any of these songs, but...
I don't
I know the artists.
Okay.
I don't know if I could. Right. I don't know the songs by names.
Yeah.
That's all. Jay-Z, Lil Wayne, Lil Baby. Who did I run into in Beverly Hills?
That was Da Baby.
Oh, Da Baby.
That was Da Baby.
Da Baby and Lil Baby are two different people.
So if you're a Browns fan, the song that you may hear is Let It All Work Out by Lil Wayne. That is Travis Hunter's song there.
Do we have any country music? Because I can guess that's Will Campbell.
Will Campbell's not on the... Oh, yes, he is. He's Lil Wayne.
Really?
Well, you got to remember, he's from LSU.
I forgot Lil Wayne's from Louisiana.
Rich Homie Quan, Jalen Milrow. When's he getting
We're going to hear that
picked?
late on day 2.
Jalen Milrow. Maybe tonight.
By the way, can I tell you guys something?
Yeah.
I just found the odds for the 9th pick. Do we all agree the Saints are staying at 9?
I am with you on that.
Okay.
I don't know.
Am I wrong? Okay, so that's why these odds are kind of all over the place.
Oh, you think they're moving out?
Well, no, I don't, but...
I'm just saying
I'm asking him, AR, because I'm with you, AR, that they're staying.
I'm just saying if they're not taking Shador, then they're definitely open. If they get a decent deal.
Do you know who the favorite is? For the 9th pick.
Michael?
Not by the Saints, just the 9th pick.
Michael
Williams. Do you know who the second favorite is?
Shortly behind that, Jackson Dart.
That's right. Guess what the odds are on Shador Sanders to go 9 to the Saints?
They got to be crazy.
Yeah, they got to be
like
insane.
Thousands? No, 16 to 1.
So it's still alive.
That's 1,600, right?
Yep.
That's a ton.
That's right. He's like the 10th favorite.
Yeah, so it's dead.
It seems to be that if a quarterback is taken 9, not by the Saints or by somebody else, it's not going to be Shador. That they're not coming up to get Shador. They're coming up to get Jackson Dart.
There's been momentum behind that for a few days now.
So you don't think I should bet Shador right now 9 to the Saints at 16 to 1?
Ice, do you want one more?
Yeah, give me one more.
You know who my dad is?
What do you think? Value?
On Michael?
No, on Shador to the Saints at 9.
I think that's done.
It's over?
Yeah, I don't think it's happening. I would take him at 9, but I don't think that's what they're going to do.
16 to 1.
I know.
It's pretty good value. Mm-hmm. Jackson Dart's not bad value, but it's 4 to 1. It's all right.
Yeah.
Mason Graham is 7 to 1.
He's been slipping.
All right.
We thought a couple days ago he was lock, stock, and barrel going to Jacksonville, but now maybe 8 or 9.
Okay. Take us home, big guy. What do you got left in our last couple of minutes?
Well, we can do this.
Do we have a winner of the Hall of Fame?
Oh,
passes?
yeah. Randy in the UA.
Way to go, Randy.
Randy in UA. He's going to be hanging out in Canada at some point in time.
Those tickets are going to make you Randy.
Shout out to you, Randy.
Here you go. Lock it in. Who's going to draft Jackson Dart? Tell the truth.
Who's going to draft? I'm going to go with
you got a lot of
Chase
options.
Shane. Is that his first name?
Oh, my God.
Carson,
Shane.
Thank you. Carson Shane, and that he will be a New York Giant. Not
Brian
at 3.
Daboll.
Not at 3. Not at 3. Been seeing speaking of Brian Daboll, he may see Josh Allen.
It feels
he may
like...
see him since he worked with him in Buffalo. I'm going G-Man.
Where, though?
Ramadunze.
Where?
They're going to trade back into the first round. I don't know exactly where. I think it will be before the Steelers at 21. So somewhere between 15 to 21, we'll see the G-Men come back in and get Jackson Dart, which I would not.
So does that make the Steelers have to take Shador?
No, not necessarily.
All right, I'll say what I said earlier. He's not a faller, but Rams at 26.
Oh, that is music to Maddie's ears.
I'm a Rams fan.
I don't think he's going to be there from everything that it sounds like. That sounds late now for Jackson Dart. Crazy late.
I don't know,
but
man.
he is.
News versus noise.
That's a great fit there with McVay, learning under Stafford.
Which Buckeye do you think is drafted higher than the mockers think?
Well, I haven't seen every mock out there. I feel like Donovan Jackson, where do you have him mocked? Because I am going to my Vikes at 24. That'd probably be higher than he's...
Yeah, because at this point, he's mostly a second-round pick.
That would be higher.
I'm going to go with Emeka. Because I think here's why. If Teteroa McMillan messes around and goes at 5, and some people believe that Jacksonville is interested in him, that will up the certainty or the urgency is what I meant to say when it comes to Emeka. So I'll go Emeka. I think he's going to go higher.
Just remember, it's not a lie if you believe it.
I'm keeping that one.
All right. Before we go, if you ever missed your podcast or if you ever missed anything from our show, wherever you get your podcast, type in Rothman and Ice. Everything we do from noon to 3 will be waiting there for you. Subscribe to the pod as well. Bet365 is the exclusive sports betting sponsor of the Rothman and Ice podcast. Common Man and T-Bone coming up next. They'll get you ready for the draft as well. Don't move.
And we will talk to you tomorrow at high noon and just look at everything that went nuts. Rothman and Ice and the Fan.
Here's a quick 10-second reminder that the Buckeyes have won the Natty. Also, we air all the games, and we always will. Thank you. Your home of the Buckeyes, the Fan.
Care Heating and Cooling. Honest technicians, honest pricing. Call 1-800-COOLING.
For over 78 years, our family's been part of your love stories. At Diamond Seller, we offer bigger diamonds, better prices, and timeless designs for every chapter of your life. From your first yes to your forever I do, trust the jeweler who knows diamonds best. Visit Diamond Seller today.
This Cincinnati Reds Hall of Fame moment features one of the greatest players to ever wear a uniform. In 1953, the Reds signed an amateur free agent out of the same Oakland, California high school that a few years later would produce Reds teammate Vada Pinson. On April 17, 1956, that kid would start in left field on opening day, go 2 for 3, and begin a major league career that would take him all the way to Cooperstown. Frank Robinson would go on to become the National League Rookie of the Year that season and hit a rookie record 38 home runs. He would go on to hit 586 of them in his career, his first in a World Series coming on October 9th, 1961 at Crosley Field.
Robinson steps in with Blasingame on third. Casco on first to 1 away. The pitch swung on at the fly ball. Deep right center field. Blanchard's going back. He's near the fence. Home run. A 3-run homer by Frank Robinson over the fence in deep right center field. And the score of the ball game, the Yankees 6 and the Reds 3.
Robinson would become an All-Star 12 times, win the MVP award in both leagues, and the Triple Crown in 1966. He was inducted into the Reds Hall of Fame in 1978 and the Hall of Fame at Cooperstown in 1982. The number 20 he wore so prominently was retired in his honor on May 22, 1998 in a ceremony at Riverfront Stadium. The Hall of Fame moment is brought to you by Western and Southern Financial Group. Put their financial strength behind you. Visit westernsouthern.com.
Thinking about buying your first home? Now, with Third Federal, you can buy your first home and pay no PMI. Hi, I'm Mark Stefanski, Chairman and CEO of Third Federal. Private mortgage insurance, or PMI, can cost thousands of dollars over the life of your loan. And you may not realize PMI doesn't protect you. It only protects the lender in case of default. But at Third Federal, you can buy a home with just 5% down and no PMI. Plus, first-time home buyers get $750 off a closing cost. So if you're thinking about buying your first home, go for it and visit thirdfederal.com.
Even before you find a home, lock in 6.625%, APR 6.685% on a 30-year fixed-rate purchase mortgage. Visit thirdfederal.com or call 1-800-3rd-FED today. APR reflects 15% down for $350,000 loan amount. Rate requires automatic payment program and is subject to change. Restrictions apply. See conditions for closing cost coupon at thirdfederal.com/FTHB. Equal housing lender.
1-800-GOT-JUNK makes space for possibilities.
When our clean, shiny truck arrives, it's the sign of a new beginning, a clean start, a breath of fresh air.
All the animals start giggling, a rainbow appears, and music fills the air.
Your best friend calls with happy news. Every table has fresh flowers on it, and your nights are full of candlelight.
We bring the springtime.
All you have to do is point.
Call 1-800-GOT-JUNK
or visit 1-800-GOT-JUNK.com.
Hey guys, it's Timmy Hall from my friends at Orthopedic One, Central Ohio's most trusted orthopedic practice. 2 years ago, I was actually experiencing hip pain for the first time in my life, and I knew I needed the best. So I chose Orthopedic One for my physical therapy needs. And in a matter of weeks, I was rotating that golf swing better than before, and I was the longest hitter in my group again. So be like me and trust Orthopedic One. Several convenient locations around Central Ohio. To find a physician or location near you, go to www.orthopedic1.com.
If you're 55 and up, T-Mobile has plans built just for you. 2 lines of unlimited for just $30 a line. That's a 45% savings compared to Verizon and AT&T. But don't just take our word for it.
It's not just the savings that are great with our T-Mobile plan. There's all this value from all these other things that T-Mobile offers.
T-Mobile has been such a savings for us.
We love it.
Switch today and get 2 free 5G phones like the Motorola Edge with Turbo Power charging that gives you power for the day in just 15 minutes. And customers 55 and up can get 2 lines of talk, text, and data for only $30 a line. Go to T-Mobile.com/55 to learn more. With 24 monthly bill credits and 2 new lines with autopay for well-qualified customers plus taxes, fees, and $35 per line connection charge. Credits end and balance due if you pay off early or cancel. Contact us plus $5 per line without autopay. Debit or bank account required. 45% off 2 lines versus AT&T Starter and Verizon Welcome. Plan benefits vary. See details at T-Mobile.com. Motorola Edge requires 68-watt charger. Charger sold separately. Actual